This is solar system la మనం ఒక్కటే ఉంది ఇది గురుగ్రహంలో కాపాడేది. Earth is the only true planet. Mars is only వేరే రాగలు ఉంటాయి, వేరే ఉంటుంది. So basically this planet is made of water. But yet we are here today, 22nd March, talking about World Water Day and water crisis in the face of climate change. Okay. This is not this graphic is not everybody. We are called the blue planet because 71% of the India is water, only 29 land. కాబట్టి నీటి సమస్య మనకి ఎప్పుడు రాకూడదు లెక్క ప్రకారం. టెక్నికల్లీ స్పీకింగ్, the amount of water in the system, planet on the whole, solar system is constant. It doesn't change. Solar system lo na needlu constant undi. Mali. But yet we are here today 2024 talking about water shortages. Pakana na Bangalore ma telusu. Bangalore mein share video last time. I want to know why this graphic I want you to pay attention. Okkar vision mein baat kona agena. This is the main. Since 71% of the area is water and that contains 96.5% of the planet's water, salt water, sea oceans. ఎంత మిగిలింది? 3.5 మిగిలింది. 3.5 is fresh water. ఈ 3.5 fresh water లో రైట్ సైడ్ పెట్టినాము. 2.75% is polar ice caps, glaciers, ఇవన్నీ కలిపి నార్త్ పోల్, సౌత్ పోల్, గ్రీన్లాండ్, ఐస్ క్యాప్స్ అంతా కలిపి 2.75. ఈ ఎండలకు ఎవాపో ట్రాన్స్పిరేషన్ చెట్ల నుంచి, సముద్రాల నుంచి, మన డ్యామ్ల నుంచి ఎవాపరేట్ అయ్యి ఉండేది మొత్తం సిస్టమ్ లో వాటర్ అబౌట్ 0.25%. దెన్ అనదర్ 0.20% is water in the biomass. మనుషులు, జంతువులు, చెట్లు, చేమలు, biomass, water content in the biomass is 0.2%. So, combined substance, liquid fresh water, 0.30%. Only 0.30% of the total planetary resources are liquid fresh water, which are usable. Okay. ఇప్పుడు చలికాలం మంచు పడుతుంది, ఎండాకాలం పడుతుంది, నదులు అయితే, నీళ్ళు అయితే, కొలరాడో రివర్ వస్తుంది, మిసిసిపి వస్తుంది, అమెజాన్ ఇస్ రివర్. యా ఓకే, వన్ వాస్ రైన్ రోడ్ కాకుండా వస్తుంది. బట్ యా అగైన్ అలవాట్లేకపోతున్నాం. మన కాళేశ్వరమే నీళ్ళు అలవాట్లేకపోయింది. మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్ ఇస్ ఫ్లోయింగ్ ఇంటూ ది ఓషన్ అగైన్. అసలు ఈ 0.3 లిక్విడ్ ఫ్రెష్ వాటర్ లా డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్ ఏంటంటే సర్ఫేస్ మీద ఉండేది, అంటే మన ఇరిగేషన్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ కార్ఖానాలు, ప్రాజెక్టులు, పైసలు, డ్యామ్లు, సిమెంట్, ఉష్క, స్టీల్ అంతా కలిపి 0.3%, 30% ఆఫ్ 0.3, 0.1, 0.09 or something. అంతనే మిగతాదంతా గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్. Out of the 0.30 liquid fresh water, 70% is underground water. Confined aquifers, unconfined aquifers, unconfined అంటే మిగిలిన aquifers. నీళ్ళలో ఇందాక సార్ చెప్పింది కదా, సముద్రం, గుట్టలు, కొండలు రాలే. సో దాట్ పార్ట్ ఇస్ ద కన్ఫైన్డ్ aquifers. ఎంత లోతు ఉంటాయి ఇప్పుడు దాకా తెలియదు. డీపెస్ట్ పార్ట్ ఇస్ ఈజిప్ట్ నూబియన్ aquifer in Egypt, 1500 meters. దాని కింద నీళ్ళు ఉన్నాయి తెలియదు. So basically this is groundwater. Now what is the problem? Why are we sitting here today? We are sitting here today because ఈ స్లైడ్ లో లేదు, ఫిబ్రవరి 2020 జనవరి 2022 నుంచి జనవరి 2023 నుంచి ఫిబ్రవరి 2022 నుంచి ఫిబ్రవరి 2023 దాకా యూరోప్ లో కోపర్నికస్ అనే పేరుతో ఒక క్లైమేట్ సిస్టమ్ ఉంది. వాళ్ళు ఎప్పుడు లెక్క పెట్టుకోరు టెంపరేచర్ ఎంత పెరుగుతుంది ఏమవుతుందని. They said for a continuous period of 1 year, global warming exceeded the 1.5 degrees Celsius Paris Protocol limit. 1.52 that పన్నెండు నెలల పాటు. సో గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్ అంటే మనం ఫ్యూచర్ లో చదివేది కాదు, ఇన్నే ఉంది. గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్ అంటే మనం హైదరాబాద్ వెళ్ళకపోవచ్చు, బెంగళూరు పోతే 3 రోజులు ఉంటే గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్ ఏంటో అర్థమైంది. Global warming is here and now, it's not tomorrow. So today we'll understand water in a different way. కొంచెం ఏంటంటే దీంట్లో మన నీళ్ళల్లో 70% అంటే అండర్ గ్రౌండ్ ఫ్రెష్ వాటర్ అనుకున్నాం కదా. ఈ పాయింట్ 3 లో ఏమవుతుందంటే 70% of fresh water is used for agriculture. Another 22% is used for industrial purposes. Only 8% of fresh water is used for drinking, bathing, washing, khana, pina, whatever. Next, that is only 8% of the fresh water. ఈ 8% కి ఇంత ముచ్చట ఎందుకు? That brings us to the story of global warming. So these are the polar ice caps and glaciers melting because of global warming. If melting ఏమవుతుంది, నదుల వాటర్ లెవెల్ ఇది తగ్గిపోతుంది. ఐస్ క్యాప్ 2.75 budget. Look at the budget, 96.5 salt water, 2.75 glaciers. By the year 2100, all the ice in the glaciers and polar ice caps will melt. No more ice. So 2.75% పోయి సముద్రంలో కలుస్తుంది. మనం బతుకున్నాం అడానికి మోస్ట్లీ మాలాంటి మీరు చెప్పలేదు, some of you might live, but you witness a situation of sea level rise. అది కూడా చూద్దాం. ఈ పోలార్ ఐస్ క్యాప్స్ మెల్ట్ అవుతున్నాయి గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్ తో. This is one station somewhere in not Alaska, this is Alps, Switzerland near ఇది Alpine glaciers ఇది. So every time సంవత్సరంలో 2 సార్లు they measure this ice. లాస్ట్ సీజన్ నుంచి ఇప్పటికి ఎంత స్నో ఎంత ఐస్ వచ్చిందని. Decreasing ice on Alpine glaciers with global warming of 2 degrees Celsius, glacial ice will disappear by 2100. This scenario. So, ఒక పక్కన ఐస్ తగ్గిపోయి సముద్రంలో కలిస్తే, this is basically a actual real photo, is part of a video from a place called island called Kiribati. Kiribati is a South Pacific island. ఆస్ట్రేలియాకు ఎంతనో ముందుకో కిందకో మీకు ఉంటుంది. ఒక నిద్రొస్తున్నాం. So ఇప్పటికే already this picture is taken in the year 2022. This video 2022 రెండేళ్ల క్రితం ఇది. అప్పటికే కిరిబాటి మురుగుతుంది. ఈ మా పాపం పిల్లలు ఎత్తుకొని పోతుంది. ఇగో ఇది కిరిబాటి. చాలా మీరు ముగినాయి. వాళ్ళకు నేల మీద నడిచి ఒక ఇంటి నుంచి ఒక ఇంటికి వెళ్ళే పరిస్థితి ఇప్పుడు లేదు. There is a place called Binuan, Manila Bay, Philippines. Ground floor సముద్రంలో మునిగిపోతే వాడు ఫస్ట్ ఫ్లోర్ ఆడతారు దాన్ని. Ground floor already submerged. So sea level rise is happening. అంటే ఏం జరుగుతుంది, ఎలా జరుగుతుంది sea level rise? Glacial ice melting, going into the sea. మనం కాలేజీలో కట్టినా ఏం కట్టినా బోర్లో కట్టినా నీళ్ళు ఆగుతుందో సముద్రంలో పుడుతుంది. So ultimately, the total amount of water is constant, but more water is getting mixed into the sea and oceans. Then, mala వర్షం వస్తుంది కదా, ఐస్ మెల్ట్ అయితే ఏమైంది అనుకోవచ్చు. వర్షం వస్తుంది కానీ దాని ఇష్టం వచ్చినప్పుడు వస్తుంది. ఇది ఫ్లడ్స్, అర్బన్ ఫ్లడ్స్. ఇది అమెరికన్ సిటీ. Somewhere, I think, yeah, somewhere California kind of thing. అక్కడ డెజర్ట్ అది, వర్షాలు పడవు సరిగ్గా. అన్ప్రెసిడెంటెడ్ ఫ్లడ్స్. మన హైదరాబాద్ కూడా ఉండే పొలిటికల్ గా బాగుందని తీసుకురాలి మనం అమెరికన్ చూపిస్తుంది. బట్ ఒక వింత, దిస్ ఇస్ ఫ్లడ్స్ ఇన్ దుబాయ్ 2023. There are floods in Dubai. We are not used to this kind of thing. So first time you have floods in Dubai. So ice melted, the glacier goes somewhere answer. The problem is rainfall events don't happen as you predict. IIT process are different. And Indian modeling la kata 100 సంవత్సరాల rainfall data తీసుకున్నాం. అది డిపెండబిలిటీ కాన్సెప్ట్. 100 ఏళ్ల క్రితం నుంచి ఇప్పటిదాకా వానలు పడ్డాయి, ఇంత పడ్డది కాబట్టి ఇన్ని మంత్స్ పడ్డాయి కాబట్టి మళ్ళీ 2024, 2025 అట్లా పడతాయని ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తే పడాయి. ఆల్ ఆఫ్ ఇరిగేషన్ డ్యామ్ స్కీమ్ లాంటి తీసుకునే క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ అంటే రెయిన్ఫాల్ డేటా ఫర్ ద పాస్ట్ 100 years. దాన్ని బట్టి మనం 800 టీఎంసీలు ఉన్నాయి, ఇక్కడ డ్యామ్ పడితే 230 ఆపుకోవచ్చు, ఇవన్నీ చెప్తాం మనం కూర్చోండి. వర్షాలు అనుకున్నట్టు పడతాయి కదా, ఎందుకు పడవు? 100 నుంచి పడుతుంది, ఇబ్బంది పడవు. 100 నుంచి గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్ లేదు, ఇప్పుడు. సో వీ కాంట్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ దాట్ ఇట్ విల్ రెయిన్ నార్మల్లీ. ఇట్ విల్ రెయిన్ బట్ అబ్నార్మల్లీ. దుబాయ్లో పడుతుంది, డ్యామ్ సారా ఎదురులో పడుతుంది, రాజస్థాన్ ఎదురులో పడుతుంది, ఎక్కడ పడితే తెలియదు. దీనికి కూడా థియరీ ఉంది. ఇవాళ మళ్ళా చాలా లేట్ అయింది, అది మొదలు పెడుతుంది. జెట్ స్ట్రీమ్ అని ఉంటుంది 10 కిలోమీటర్ల మీద. సో జెట్ స్ట్రీమ్, బికాస్ ఆఫ్ గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్, ద వెలాసిటీ ఆఫ్ జెట్ స్ట్రీమ్ ఈస్ చేంజింగ్ వైల్ ఇట్ ఇస్ సర్క్యులేటింగ్ నియర్ ద పోల్స్. జెట్ స్ట్రీమ్ పైన 10 కిలోమీటర్స్ ఉంటుంది. అది ఎడమకు మళ్ళితే ఒకదే వాన పడితే, కుడికి మళ్ళితే ఒకదే వాన పడుతుంది. అదొక పెద్ద థియరీ ఉంది. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ బ్రింగింగ్ ఇట్ హియర్ టుడే, బట్ ఇట్ విల్ సఫైస్ టు సే దట్ rainfalls are going to be erratic and your precipitation is going to be not uniform. You might get 300 mm in one day. Hydra వచ్చింది 244 mm ఒక రోజు వచ్చింది. తర్వాత పడలేదు. 45 రోజులు 63 రోజులు తెలంగాణలో వానలు పడాలి. అట్లా పడతలేదు. 20 రోజులు 30 రోజులు గతమైతే ఒక్క రోజు 2 రోజులు మొత్తం సన్న వాన పడుతుంది. 5 రోజులు ఉంటుంది. మనం ప్రశ్న మునుగుతున్నాయి, ఎవరు వస్తున్నారు, ఎవరు చూస్తున్నారు, ఏం చేస్తారు వాళ్ళు మాత్రం? క్లైమేట్ చేంజ్. సో అన్లెస్ యు ఆల్ థింక్ అబౌట్ క్లైమేట్ చేంజ్ అండ్ గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్ ఇన్ ఎ సీరియస్ వే, మనం క్లాస్ రూమ్ లో చదువుకొని నేర్చుకొని ఇంటికి పోయి మర్చిపోతే కాదు. ఏ ప్రవీణ్, ఇది అవుతారు ఎవరైనా జరపాలి. This is from East Africa, the country I am not mentioning. I think it is could be Somalia or Ethiopia. Drought. మానవ వాడక సంవత్సరాల ఉంది, జంతువులు చచ్చిపోయి, క్యాటిల్ చచ్చిపోయి, బొక్కలు బయటకెళ్ళి ఇట్లుంది పరిస్థితి. These are actual pictures. Marking is here. So basically, effects of global warming and countries at most at risk for drought. ఎలా ఉన్నాయేమో ఎక్కువ రిస్క్, వాస్తవానికి బ్రౌన్ ఉన్నాయి, మీడియం రిస్క్. మన ఆడలో high risk for droughts. You will get a copy of this. Praveen, another one chai. We'll ask you to share this presentation. ఈ రైనా అందరికి వంచు ఈ presentation. Yeah. ఈ ప్యాటర్న్ మార్చాలి కలుగుతారు. This is basically పూర్ డ్యామ్ విన్నారు ఎవరన్నా? పూర్ డ్యామ్ సౌత్ వెస్ట్ కాలిఫోర్నియా ఎత్తులో పూర్ డ్యామ్. బేసికలీ ఇట్ ఆన్ కొలరాడో రివర్. కొలరాడో రివర్ పూర్ డ్యామ్ తర్వాత ఇది లేక్ పాయల్, లేక్ మీడ్, ఇంకొక మూడు లేక్లు ఉంది. ఇది లేక్ పాయల్. దాంట్లో మనము ఈ బాత్టబ్ లో మనం స్నానం చేసి విడిచిపెట్టి నీళ్లు, ఇట్స్ కాల్డ్ బాత్టబ్ రింగ్ ప్యాటర్న్. డ్రై అయిపోయిన విషయంలో మనం కూడా విధానాలు కనపడుతుంది ఎడగాలం. బాత్టబ్ రింగ్ ప్యాటర్న్ is visible. Here also bathtub ring pattern is visible. This is Lake Powell. We supply water to 7 states of USA, including California, Arizona, శాన్ ఫ్రాన్సిస్కో బే. ఈ మొత్తంకి తాగనీకి ఇండస్ట్రియల్ వాటర్, అగ్రికల్చర్ వాటర్ దీనిలోకెళ్ళే పోయింది. దిస్ ఇస్ యాక్చువల్లీ ద మైటీ కొలరాడో రివర్, గ్రాండ్ క్యానియన్, గ్రీన్ క్యానియన్ అని విన్నాం కదా. ఎవరున్నా నీళ్ళు ఎప్పుడు తగ్గాయి కానీ గత 10 సంవత్సరాల నుంచి కన్సిస్టెంట్ డ్రాట్, నీళ్లు రాక డ్యామ్ వెళ్ళి దాని రిజర్వాయర్ ఈ విధంగా తగ్గాయి. దిస్ లేక్ పవర్. యా నౌ బేసికలీ కొంచెం థియరీ. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చెప్పుకున్నామంటే నీళ్లు ఉంటాయి ఎక్కడికి పో కానీ ఇంకా సముద్రంలో ఉంటాయి. గ్లేషియర్ ఐస్ మెల్ట్ అవుతుంది, రీజ్ అవుతుంది, సీ లెవెల్ రీజ్ అవుతుంది. సో టోటల్ ఫ్రెష్ వాటర్ రిజర్వ్స్ ఆర్ గెటింగ్ డిస్టర్బ్, తగ్గిపోతుంది. గ్రేస్ అంటే మనకు ఇంగ్లీష్ గ్రేస్ కాదు, ఇది ఇట్స్ అన్ అక్రోనిమ్. Gravity Recovery and Climate Experiment of NASA. NASA ఏం చేశారంటే 2 శాటిలైట్స్ మీద 220 కిలోమీటర్ల పైన తిప్పుతాం ఆర్బిటింగ్. The distance between these 2 satellites is a constant. Each satellite looks at each other. ఇదేంటంటే ఇక ప్రేమికుల లెక్క ఒకదాని చూసుకుంటూనే ఉంటాయి. And they measure the distance between to the accuracy of nanometer level accuracy తోని distance between both తీసుకుంటారు. every time they check. ఇది ఎట్లా పనిచేస్తుందంటే అర్త్ మీద వాటర్ బరువు ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది, గ్రావిటీ. సర్ఫేస్ వాటర్ కానీ అండర్ గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ కానీ అక్కడ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఈ ముందున్న శాటిలైట్ కొంచెం వంగుతుంది. వంగినప్పుడు ఏమైంది, రెండింటి మధ్య డిస్టెన్స్ మారుతుంది. అట్లా వంగిన తర్వాత కిందికి వేసింది, రెండో శాటిలైట్ వస్తుంది, అది వంగుతుంది. సో వాటర్ ఇస్ దేర్, ద శాటిలైట్ విల్ బెండ్ అండ్ ద డిస్టెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ బోత్ విల్ డిక్రీజ్ అండ్ ఆల్సో ద ఆర్బిటల్ డిస్టెన్స్ ఆల్సో విల్ డిక్రీజ్ when there is water. వాటర్ స్కేర్సిటీ ఉన్న ఏరియాలో పోయినప్పుడు గ్రావిటీ తగ్గుతుంది. శాటిలైట్ మనం పైకి వేస్తుంది, రెండో శాటిలైట్ పైకి వేస్తుంది. సో ముందు శాటిలైట్ ఎప్పుడు వేసింది, ఎంత శాటిలైట్ ఎప్పుడు వేసింది, అది ఏ పోర్షన్ మీద ఆపరేట్ అవుతుంది, లెక్కలను చేసి వాడు ఏం చేశారంటే గ్రేస్ మిషన్ లా దే క్రియేటెడ్ అల్గారిథం అండ్ దే క్రియేటెడ్ దిస్ డేటా. ఈ గ్రేస్ మిషన్ 2002లో స్టార్ట్ అయింది, 2017 గెయిన్ అయింది. ఆ తర్వాత మళ్ళీ 2 శాటిలైట్ పంపారు, దాన్ని గ్రేస్ F1, గ్రేస్ ఫాలో ఆన్ మిషన్. సో నౌ దిస్ శాటిలైట్స్ ఆర్ ఆర్బిటింగ్. సో దీస్ శాటిలైట్స్ డౌన్లోడబుల్ డేటా మనం జిఐఎస్ అది తెలిస్తే, రిమోట్ సెన్సింగ్ తెలిస్తే మనం కూడా డేటా డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకొని మోడలింగ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఐఐటి ప్రొఫెసర్ చెప్పాలి గ్రేస్ కూడా. ఇప్పుడు ఆ మొత్తం ఆ లెక్కలు ఈ లెక్కలు తీసే బదులు గ్రేస్ నెలకోసారి ఆర్బిట్ చేస్తుంది, చూపిస్తుంది నీరు ఉన్నాయా తగ్గుతున్నాయా. ఇట్ నాట్ టెల్ యూ ద అబ్సల్యూట్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ ప్రజెంట్ ఆన్ ద స్పాట్ గ్రౌండ్ బిలో, బట్ ఇట్ విల్ టెల్ యూ వెదర్ ద వాటర్ ఈజ్ ఇంక్రీజింగ్ ఆర్ డిక్రీజింగ్ కంపారిటివ్లీ. ట్రెండ్ లైన్ చూపిస్తుంది. 2002 నుంచి 2003 తగ్గిందా పెరిగిందా, ఎట్లా చూపిస్తుంది, ఇప్పుడు చూపిస్తుంది. బ్లూ ఉన్నాయేమో పెరిగినాయి, బ్రౌన్ రెడ్ ఉన్నాయేమో నీళ్ళు తగ్గినాయి. అక్కడ ఇట్ కుడ్ బి సర్ఫేస్ వాటర్, ఇట్ కుడ్ బి అండర్ గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్. అక్కడ గ్రౌండ్ వృద్ధి చేసినప్పుడు మనం రిజర్వాయర్ డ్యామ్ ఉంటే సర్ఫేస్ వాటర్ మోసాడు, నదులు ఉంటాయి. ఏం లేవు, ఓన్లీ ల్యాండ్ ఉంది, పొలాలు ఉన్నాయి, సార్ చెప్పినట్టు సత్యనారాయణ సార్ చెప్పినట్టు కొండలు ఉన్నాయి. అయితే కూడా బ్లూ ఉంది అంటే కింద అండర్ గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ So this is grace mission. Now what is grace mission telling us about the water availability on the globe? So we know, this guy is basically J. Famiglia. J. Famiglia is a world famous climate scientist working with Grace Mission and Global Water Mission and ఒక కంపెనీ ఫామ్ చేసి ఎన్జిఓ ఫామ్ చేసి దాని కూడా పనిచేస్తుంది. ఏం చేసిందంటే మనది విన్నాం స్టార్టింగ్ వాటర్ ఫర్ పీస్ పెట్టాం కదా. ఈయన 2009లో ఈ గ్రేస్ డేటాను బట్టి అక్కడ ఎంతున్న మ్యాచ్ ఏంటంటే సిరియా, మిడిల్ ఈస్ట్. భయ్యా సిరియాలో నీళ్లు తగ్గిపోతున్నాయి, గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ మొత్తం తగ్గిపోతుంది. దేర్ క్యాన్ బి ఎ సివిల్ వార్. ఈ ప్రెడిక్టెడ్ దాట్ ఇన్ 2009. సిరియాలో సివిల్ వార్ ఎప్పుడు వచ్చింది? 2011 2012 వచ్చింది. 2-3 సంవత్సరాల తర్వాత నేను చెప్పిన తర్వాత. సో వాట్ ఇస్ ద సమ్ అండ్ సబ్స్టెన్స్? చెప్పొచ్చే ముచ్చట ఏంటంటే నీరు లేకపోతే, నీటి లభ్యత తగ్గిపోతే, you are in a situation of decreasing water, there can be civil unrest, there can be wars, there can be fights. So adi ee Kadamashi J. Famiglia has predicted. He has predicted other things also which people ground truth and found out. This is about actual Syrian civil war. ఎవరు ఆర్టికల్ రాశాడు Kadamashi 2009లో చెప్పిండు, నియమైంది 2012. So this is the same Grace Mission. Water stress, Southwest USA, California, San Francisco Bay. ఇవన్నీ బ్రౌన్ కనపడుతుంది కదా, కొంచెం yellowish brownish కనపడుతున్నది. This data is from year April 2010. April 2010 లా కాలిఫోర్నియా పరిస్థితి ఇది. అంటే 2002 నుంచి పనిచేస్తుంది. స్లోగా ఓవర్ ద ఇయర్స్ వాటర్ హాస్ బీన్ డిక్రీజింగ్. గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ ఇక్కడ ఏం చెరువు కిలోలు పైన కొద్ది పొలాలలో కొంచెం పైనకి వస్తుంది. ఇదంతా గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్. గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ సిచ్యువేషన్ ఈస్ డిక్రీజింగ్. దిస్ ఇస్ యాక్చువల్ గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్. ఇది లేక్ మీడ్. సో వాటర్ ఇస్ అట్ very low water conditions, ground situation. So even it is possible to predict using satellite data about our water situation. It is same location in the California, Southwest USA. June 2002 కొంచెం ఆకుపచ్చ ఉంది అంటే అంత సీరియస్ కాదు. జూన్ నెక్స్ట్ మధ్యలో June 2008 నాకు మారింది. June 2014 వర్షానికి బాగా బ్రౌన్ అయింది. సో there is a continuous depletion of groundwater. Fresh water banana. Okay. We will go fast. Yeah. So this slide just ఎక్కువ మనం ముచ్చట చెప్పేది స్లైడ్ చేస్తే we will go fast. So basically this is situation of groundwater is deteriorating. Okay. India will spend 30 seconds. No, 30 seconds. India will చెప్పాలి మనం. ఇది పంజాబీ ఇండో-గాంజెటిక్ ప్లేన్. ఎప్పటిది 7 నెల 2013 వచ్చింది. ఇంప్రూవింగ్ గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ డ్యూ టు ఫ్లడ్ ఇరిగేషన్ ఆఫ్ ప్యాడీ. మన దేశంలో అంతా ఫ్లడ్ ఇరిగేషన్ ఇక్కడ ప్యాడీ అండ్ షుగర్ కేన్ ఇన్ పంజాబ్. యు వాంట్ టు సీ ద గ్రౌండ్ సిచ్యుయేషన్? గ్రౌండ్ ఏమైంది తెలుసుకోవాలన్నా ఉందా? Right. These are ground situation. మానవ పడితే నీళ్ళు వస్తే నీటి లభ్యత టీఎంసీలు కాముచ్చాడు కాదు. Let us understand modern and different way. Farmers suicide in Punjab due to groundwater drying up. This is ground situation. These are climate videos of Punjab. నేను ముట్టించలేదు. నెట్గా తీసాను మా బ్యాలెట్ యాక్చువల్ ఫుడ్ క్లైమేట్ ఫుడ్స్ సో అవైలబుల్ గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ మొత్తం రాజేసి నువ్వు ప్యాడీ షుగర్ కేన్ ఎన్ని రోజులు పండిస్తాం దీనికి పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైం ద వాటర్ విల్ నాట్ సింప్లిఫై బాగా వస్తాయి నీళ్ళు నిండుతాయి అనుకుంటాం నిండి వచ్చే వాళ్ళను మనం ఎన్ని రోజులు స్ట్రాటజీ చూపారు టైం సరిపోదని యూ టేక్ ఎ పెట్రోల్ డిష్ డ్రై సాయిల్ మాయిశ్చర్ జీరో ఉన్నప్పుడు దాని మీద ఇన్ఫ్యూజర్ పెట్టి డ్రాప్ వాటర్ వేయండి వాటర్ ఉండదు పోదు కిందికి ఇట్స్ కాల్డ్ హైడ్రోఫోబిక్ when you are putting water on a dry soil it doesn't go in, it will run away, run off. అదే పెట్రోల్ డిష్ లో కొంచెం మాయిశ్చర్ కలిపి 5% 10% పెట్టినాక మళ్ళీ మనం ఇన్ఫ్యూజర్ తో డ్రాప్ వాటర్ వేస్తే అది కిందికి నెక్స్ట్ టైం ఐ షో దట్ గ్రాఫిక్ ఇట్స్ రియల్ scientific. So when the whole thing goes dry, rainfall will not stand, will not go underground. Recharge కాదు వానవడితే రీఛార్జ్ అయితే అనుకుంటారు మీరు కాదు. When the ground is dry, recharge will never happen because the soil becomes hydrophobic. Soil actually hydrophilic. When there is some moisture, some roots, some plants, అనగా చెప్పినట్టు అప్పుడే నీళ్ళు కిందికి పోతుంది రీఛార్జ్ అయితే. Recharge doesn't happen automatically. I think we'll have to run fast. Yeah, we'll run fast. This is a graphic from Mexico. Because of overdrawn of groundwater, ground is sinking. Building కింది అవుతుంది సింక్ అవుతుంది. ఎవరో గ్రాఫిక్ చేసిన కంప్యూటర్ అంటే కాదు, ఇది యాక్చువల్. This is Mexico. ఓకే మనం అనుకుంటాం కదా కోకో కోలా సీసాలా ఎన్ని నీళ్ళు ఉంటాయి లెట్స్ గో ఫాస్ట్ గెస్ 1 లీటర్ ఒక సీసా కోకోలా తయారు చేయడానికి 1 లీటర్ నీళ్ళు సరిపో ఇంగ్రీడియంట్స్ కి 28 లీటర్స్ ప్యాకేజింగ్ ప్లాస్టిక్ సీసాకు 7 లీటర్లు 35 లీటర్స్ సో we need to change the way we look at water please. బీరు ఎండాకాలం తెలంగాణ మస్తు వెళ్తాం మనం సీసా బీరు అయితే మనం అనుకుంటాం గంటనే అనుకుంటాం 74 లీటర్లు ఒక్క గ్లాస్ బీరు చెప్పండి ఇంకా బీరు అనుకుంటే కాఫీ కప్పు కాఫీ లేకుండా 200 అనుకుంటాం బట్ ఫర్ దట్ కాఫీ టు కమ్ ఆన్ యువర్ టేబుల్ it costs 130 liters. షాపింగ్ పోతాం కదా ఎవరి టైం అయ్యా ప్రవీణ్ మీకు ఏమైనా ఆనేది మాకు షాపింగ్ పోతాం ఒక్క టీషర్ట్ కొంటే 1500 2500 లీటర్లు ఆ టీషర్ట్. నెక్స్ట్ ఆల్ఫా గ్రాస్ ఇది ఎందుకు వచ్చినా మళ్ళీ చెప్తాను నేను. ఇది ఒక బర్గర్ 650 లీటర్లు. సో దిస్ ఇస్ బేసికల్లీ హౌ వి ఆర్ డ్రాయింగ్ వాటర్. అది మరి అంత మార్చుకోకమ్మా నువ్వు చెప్పాలి కదా ఎంతో ముందు 1900 సంవత్సరానికి మనము 500 క్యూబిక్ కిలోమీటర్స్ వాటర్ వాడుకుంటే 2010 వచ్చే వరకు దగ్గర 4000 cubic kilometers water వాడుతుంది. So this is the water that we are taking away. And most of it is not just surface water from lakes, rivers, dams. They are also drawing groundwater. మనకి అవైలబుల్ 0.3 ఫ్రెష్ వాటర్ లా 70% గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ 30% సర్ఫేస్ వాటర్. నెక్స్ట్ యా ఎవరైనా తెలుగు మంత్రులు అనొచ్చు ఏముంది సముద్రంతో తీసుకొస్తాం డిసాలినేషన్ మొత్తం అను. 2007లో 15 క్యూబిక్ కిలోమీటర్లు డిసాలినేషన్ అయితే 2017 33 క్యూబిక్ కిలోమీటర్లు మాత్రమే డిసాల్. టోటల్ వాటర్ యూసేజ్ 3926 cubic kilometers. So desalination as of today is 1% only of the total water we are using. And desalination has a flip side. What it produces, it's energy intensive. Again you use energy, use electricity, create carbon dioxide emissions for desalination. And the flip side is you produce concentrated salty brine, which you put back into the ocean and kill all the aquatic life. ఎక్కడైతే డిసాలినేషన్ తో బ్రైన్ తీసుకుపోయి పైప్ లైన్ వేసి సముద్రం విడిచిపెడుతారో అక్కడ ఉన్న అక్వాటిక్ లైఫ్ తింటున్న ఏంటది వీడ్స్ సీవీడ్స్ చచ్చిపోతున్నాయి, చేపలు చచ్చిపోతున్నాయి, అన్ని చచ్చిపోతున్నాయి. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద ఎఫెక్ట్ ఆఫ్ డిసాలినేషన్. నెక్స్ట్, వాటర్ లేకపోతే ఉద్యోగాలు పోతుంది. నో వాటర్, నో జాబ్స్. దిస్ ఇస్ ఫ్రమ్ వ్యాలీ ఫార్మ్స్, సెంట్రల్ వ్యాలీ, కాలిఫోర్నియా. ఆ వెయిటెడ్ బోర్డ్ మనంగా. But it happens everywhere. It's a global phenomenon. Next. This is basically a statistic from US Customs and Border Protection. 2017 55,000 మంది Guatemalan drought refugees, climate refugees applied for immigration. Illegal workers చాలా మంది ఉన్నారు, అప్లై చేసుకోండి. 2017 2018 115,000, 2019 264,000. So application for immigration is increasing. Climate refugees, migration. Next one. Yeah, this is Anderson. Lake Palu, Lake Meadowton, model Anderson. This reservoir supplies water to San Francisco. This is home to Google, Apple, and the IDJ, Silicon Valley. Water, this is the picture of 2023. Water is at 3% of the capacity. Next one. Intel microchip plant in Phoenix, Arizona, located in a desert. Because of the policy of the Phoenix la మనుషులు రావాలి, సిటీ మనకు కూడా హైదరాబాద్ పెరగాలి, ఐదు ఉద్యోగాలు రావాలి అంటున్నాం కదా, అట్లా వాడు కూడా చేసిండు. దే కాటన్ ఇస్ చీప్ యాజ్ పర్ అరిజోనా అర్బన్ పాలసీ. Intel put up a microchip plant in Phoenix, Arizona. The flip side is microchip production requires huge quantity of ultra pure water. But India is located in desert for the last 25 years and is still expanding. వాటర్ తగ్గిపోతుంది అంటే గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్ తోని వాడేటోళ్ళు ఇట్నే వాడతాం. 22% రిసైడ్ ఇండస్ట్రియల్ యూజ్. ఇస్ ఇట్ జుడిషియస్ యూజ్? షుడ్ ద పాలసీ, పబ్లిక్ పాలసీ ఎప్పుడు ఉండాలి? వాటర్ యూజ్ ఎక్కడ లొకేట్ కావాలి ఇండస్ట్రీస్? భయ్యా కొంచెం రైట్. నెక్స్ట్ మధ్య లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ గ్రాఫిక్ ఏంటంటే దిస్ కాల్డ్ ఇంపీరియల్ ఇరిగేషన్ డిస్ట్రిక్ట్, సెంట్రల్ వ్యాలీ, కాలిఫోర్నియా. దే ఆర్ గ్రోయింగ్ సంథింగ్ కాల్డ్ ఆల్ఫాల్ఫా గ్రాస్ ఇన్ ద మిడిల్ ఆఫ్ ద డెజర్ట్ విత్ స్ప్రింక్లర్స్. ఈ ఆల్ఫాల్ఫా గ్రాస్ ఏం చేస్తారంటే ఎండబెట్టి కట్టలు కట్టి చైనా పంపిస్తారు క్యాటిల్ ఫీడ్ కింద. కొలరాడో రివర్ వాటర్ అది గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్ మధ్యలో ఇంపీరియల్ ఇరిగేషన్ డిస్ట్రిక్ట్, దే హావ్ ద రైట్స్, వాటర్ రైట్స్. పక్కన ఎవరికి ఏం నీళ్లు ఏం పండిస్తారు పోయి అంటే గడ్డి పండిస్తారు. దేని పండిస్తారు అంటే చైనాకి గడ్డి ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ చేస్తుంది. నెక్స్ట్, దిస్ ఇస్ మెక్సికో, శాన్ క్రిస్టోబల్ కోకోకోలా ప్లాంట్ అక్కడ ఉంది. రైట్ సైడ్ గ్రాఫిక్ ఏంటంటే ఇట్స్ అన్ యాక్చువల్ పిక్చర్. శాన్ క్రిస్టోబల్ లా ఇంట్లో ఎవరు కూడా నీళ్ళు వస్తారు, డ్రింకింగ్ వాటర్ వస్తుంది. దేర్ ట్యాప్స్ ఆర్ రన్ ఆఫ్. ఇండియన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ తీసుకోలేదు నేను ఇప్పుడు, మళ్ళా పొలిటికల్ గా తిట్టినట్టు అయిందని అన్ని అమెరికన్ ఎక్కువ తీసుకుంది. నెక్స్ట్, గో ఫాస్ట్. వాటర్ రిసోర్సెస్ పర్ క్యాపిటా లోయెస్ట్ కువైట్ ఉంటారు 10 మీటర్ క్యూబ్. కెనడా హైయెస్ట్ ఉంటాయి, అంటే మన దాకా ఉంటారా 100,000 క్యూబిక్ మీటర్స్ పర్ క్యాపిటా. నెక్స్ట్ స్లైడ్. This left side bottom is newspaper news from 16th March. మొన్న రోజు ఉంది. ప్రీవియస్ స్లైడ్ ఏమన్నా కెనడాలో నీళ్ళు ఎక్కువ ఉంటాయి పర్ క్యాపిటా. మనకు కూడా నీళ్ళు సస్కాచెవాన్ కన్సిడర్డ్ వాటర్ రిచ్. 16th March 2024. Everything has dried up. Farmers have so little water they can't even grow enough feed for the cattle. This is the water situation globally. Next slide. So how we can, what are the opportunities that we have in the face of this problem? How can we be water saving? Srivaryam ఉంటుంది, system of intensification of rise అని ఉంటుంది. తక్కువ ఎకరానికి తక్కువ మొక్కలు వేస్తారు, పాడి మొక్కలు తక్కువ నీళ్ళు పడతాయి, అవుట్పుట్ మాత్రం సేమ్ ఉంటుంది. ట్రెడిషనల్ ఫ్లడ్ ఇరిగేషన్ అంటే దీనికి ఉంటుంది శ్రీవారి సిస్టమ్ ఆఫ్ రైస్ ఇంటెన్సిఫికేషన్. శ్రీవారి అగ్రికల్చర్ అలా చెప్పాలి, అగ్రికల్చర్ మినిస్టర్ అదే శ్రీవారి. నెక్స్ట్ So this is micro drip irrigation. Sprinkler పెట్టవద్దు, micro drip irrigation పెట్టాలి. దాని నీళ్ళు తక్కువ అయితే. Just think about it. 10% savings in agriculture water. ఎంత సేవ్ అవుతుంది? 7%, 70% యూజ్ అవుతున్నాను. టోటల్ వాటర్, ఫ్రెష్ వాటర్ లో 70% agriculture. దానిలో 10% అంటే 7% నీళ్ళు మిగిలితే కూడా ఇంకొక 8 బిలియన్ పాపులేషన్ పెంచొచ్చు మనం. ప్లానెట్. సో అగ్రికల్చర్ లో మనం ఎంత తగ్గించుకోగలం వితౌట్ అఫెక్టింగ్ ద ప్రొడక్టివిటీ? దాట్ ఈస్ ద ఛాలెంజ్. దిస్ మైక్రో డ్రిప్ లెక్కలు గంట 4 చుక్కలు 7 చుక్కలు వేస్తుంది. దాని కంప్యూటర్, సోలార్ ప్యానల్, ఖాతా ఉంటుంది, సాఫ్ట్వేర్. యా, నెక్స్ట్ విల్ గో ఫాస్ట్. దిస్ ఈస్ an ancient wisdom of the Incas. I'll go fast from here. Incas అన్నమాట, ఇంకా ట్రైబ్. వీళ్ళు ఏం చేశారంటే ఈ నీళ్ళని they allowed to flow through places where బుట్టలకి అక్కడికి ఇక్కడికి అన్న భాషలో చెప్పాలంటే అట్లా మనం ఎక్కువ దూరం తీసుకపోతే మెల్లగా నీళ్ళు ఇంకుతాయి కింది. ఇప్పుడు గుంత కాకుండా ఇప్పుడు కెనాల్ బేసిక్లీ ఏది న్యాచురల్ గా కొడుతుంది కదా, ఇది మనిషి తయారు చేసిందా అంటే నెక్స్ట్ లైఫ్. ఆ రైట్ సైడ్ అయితే తప్పకుండా మనిషి తయారు చేసి. దీస్ ఆర్ కాల్డ్ అబునాస్ in Peru, Lima. Next slide. We'll go fast. Yeah, another picture of Amazonas. Basically, long channels redirected water into ground and water was available during drought. వాళ్ళు ఆ 1400 సంవత్సరాల క్రితమే ఇట్లాంటి ఆలోచన చేసేవారు. నెక్స్ట్ స్లైడ్. దిస్ కాల్ కీలైన్ ఇరిగేషన్ సిస్టమ్. బ్లూ కనపడుతున్నది వాటర్ ఎట్లా పోతుంది అనేది, నీరు పదమూడు అంటారు కదా, అది రెడ్ ఏమో కాన్ఫ్లూట్స్ అడ్డమోనే. సో ఇఫ్ వి మేక్ water flow along the contours. Next slide. Yeah, these are called the continuous contour trenches. Left side kindi kuni trench kodutunnaru. So along the contours, if you do trenches, you may be able to kind of get water into the ground. Next, make it fast. Yeah, this is Pani Foundation Maharashtra. Adi mana Lagan cinema tarvata America పెట్టింది ఇది వాటర్ టఫ్ ఫౌండేషన్ అని. This is Maharashtra. Continuous contour trench in practice or not. So basically, those villages have become water rich after implementation of this. Next. Yeah, this is Gayatri from Chennai. I am explaining this in video. Part of the video is etla ante roof మీద కూర్చిన ప్రతి చుక్క వర్షాన్ని పట్టుకొని కింది తీసుకుపోతుంది. Rainwater harvesting. The pipes go down into this pit where they are fitted to next graphic kitchen. How we do rainwater harvesting and use it as usable water. తాగక్కర్లేదు, చెట్టుకి పెట్టుకుంటాం. నెక్స్ట్ విల్ గో ఫస్ట్. మనం ఏమో చెప్పుకున్నాం లిఫ్టింగ్ అయ్యేవారు. ఇది లిఫ్టింగ్ కాదు, స్ప్లిట్టింగ్. స్ప్లిట్టింగ్ అయ్యేవారు మీన్స్ ఆఫ్ లిఫ్టింగ్. ఏన్షియంట్ సోలార్ డైనమిక్ ఇరిగేషన్ సిస్టమ్ ఆఫ్ తమిళనాడు. వాడు ఏం చేసిండు, ఒక నదిని 2 ముక్కలు చేసిండు. దిస్ కాల్డ్ హెడ్ రెగ్యులేటర్. హెడ్ రెగ్యులేటర్స్ అని ఉంటాయి మనకి. ఎందుకంటే చిన్నప్పుడు ఉండే హెడ్ రెగ్యులేటర్స్ ఇప్పుడంతా లిఫ్టింగ్. Next, we'll go fast. Yeah, this is satellite view of how the lifting splitting of a river was. So basically, what is it? Delta formation is artificial. Split చేసి channels ni well to mention out. So more area gets irrigated, more water gets underground, percolates. How will you water? Next. Yeah, this is Thales. Northern Thales from Bhila. To divert water from a clay soil on the left to a loamy soil on the right. Clay soil la నీళ్ళు అండర్గ్రౌండ్ పోవు, ఇంకా పంటలు ఎక్కువ రణం అని చెప్పేసి మంచి ఫర్టైల్ లోamy soil irrigation అండర్గ్రౌండ్ కన్నలు కొట్టినాడు. మధ్యలో వెల్స్ కూడా పెట్టిండు, ఓపెన్ వెల్స్. దిస్ ఇస్ వెరీ నియర్ టు us Bhila. వీళ్ళు బహమాని సుల్తాన్ టెక్నాలజీ అన్నట్టు. నెక్స్ట్ స్లైడ్. దిస్ ఇస్ యాక్చువల్ టనల్ అండర్గ్రౌండ్. నెక్స్ట్ స్లైడ్. విల్ గో ఫాస్ట్. యా, దిస్ ఇస్ ఓపెన్ వెల్. ఇట్లానే 32 ఉన్నాయి ఓపెన్ వెల్స్ 2 కిలోమీటర్ల మధ్య. This is Oregon, Oregon, USA. Zach Weiss, waterstories.com. How to develop system of cascading ponds for aquifer recharge. This is Oregon, USA. Next slide. Yeah, this is a drone shot of the same thing. So how you another issue ఇట్లాంటి దాన్ని అది కూడా గిట్టే ఉంటుంది. మీరు అమెరికాలో చేసినారు అని పేరు వచ్చింది, నా పేరు వచ్చింది. waterstories.com. Yeah. Next slide. This is basically Bengal, Bolivia, Bengal. This is called terrace pond. నీళ్ళు ఎండాకాలం దప్పుతున్న కొద్దీ ఆ టెరెస్ నీళ్ళు పంటలు పండిస్తుంటారు. నెక్స్ట్ దిస్ ఇస్ గ్రాఫిక్ ఆఫ్ ద సేమ్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ టెరెస్ పాండ్. ఈ స్కిప్ చేద్దాం, బెంగళూరు చూద్దాం, స్కిప్ చేద్దాం. టైం ఉంటే చూద్దాం, ఒక నిమిషం 2 నిమిషాలు పెట్టు. ఆయన మాట్లాడతారు రామచంద్ర గారు అని చెప్పేసి. అది మై జాబ్ ఇస్ డన్. ఫాస్ట్ అది క్లిక్ చేసి మీద పెట్టాము, 2 నిమిషాలు లేకుండా క్వశ్చన్ అయితే అనుకోండి. అది లేదా?
We'll take 2 minutes. Any questions from participants before the video?
బెంగళూరు కట్టి 3 నిమిషాలు
పెట్టినాను.
తెలంగాణ చెప్తే తిరుగురా అంటే బెంగళూరు పెట్టాను. త్రీ మినిట్స్ ఎస్ఆర్ అంటే మనకి యా అది ఆడాము. టైం కూడా బంద్ చేయాలి, తర్వాత చూస్తాం. ఓకే వచ్చింది.
I'm Sharan Polam from Bangalore. Today we have with us senior scientists and from the Indian Institute of Science, the Center for Ecological Studies. Scientists, sorry. Professor P.V. Ramchandra is a specialist when it comes to what changing ecology. Hello and welcome. I'm Sharan Polam from Bangalore right now. Today we have with us senior scientist and from the Indian Institute of Science, the Center for Ecological Studies. Scientists, sorry. Professor P.V. Ramchandra is a specialist when it comes to water, changing ecologies and health. Worked with this subject throughout his entire career. So let's find out from him as to the problems that Bangalore is facing right now, which is the water crisis and the reasons for it. Sir, thank you so much for talking to us, sir. So why is Bangalore going through a water crisis this year, or is this something that we go through every year? Then why is this such a big, why is this such a big crisis this year?
See, one is this is the hallmark of the inefficient the government. That is because of the fragmented government. We have too many parasite agencies, and lack of the coordination. That is the root cause of our problem. If you look at the water crisis, we have been facing water crisis for the last 4-5 years, especially the current decade. We have been facing the water crisis. The time when the city witnessed the unplanned urbanization, we forgot the water sector. The 68% green cover in the city in 70s, in the garden city was there. Today, 86% is a concrete area and paved surface. From 1973 to 2023, you see 1,055% increase in concrete area. We have lost 88% vegetation cover and about 79% water body. Vegetation cover and water body make the city landscape porous. When the landscape becomes porous, it allows the water to infiltrate when it rains. That infiltrated water is the water that
Sir, present new questions, sir. WhatsApp 99491
The next session lined up, I would like to invite Ms. Madhulika Chaudhary, founder to Vansh organization, for a session on rejuvenation of lakes. Madam has been awarded with National Water Award 2019 from Ministry of Water Resources and Ganga Rejuvenation Department of India, Delhi. She has been awarded Web Wonder Woman Award 2019 from Ministry of Women and Child Development, Delhi. She has also been awarded with the Earth Care Award from MOMCC Delhi. Madam, I request you to please do the honor.
I guess like till they are adjusting, right? I just finish. When we talk about the climate, right? And it's a very great opportunity speaking, and especially in front of my professor who is sitting. So I hope that he will like that your student is doing good. So yeah, in that case, before starting, so please, I want you to be here so that you can tell me more rectifications. So here, these are my experiences which I have observed. I've been working on the lake, Lake Rampur Lake from 2016. And before we are discussing so much about the climate, right? Anybody can tell me the Hindi word of climate? बताओ क्लाइमेट का हिंदी शब्द जलवायु. So when we talk about the climate, right, it's the jal, which is again coming on the first forward. So in that cases, whenever there is a climate, that means we are totally attached to the water, right? We cannot separate ourselves from the water. So I will be talking more about, means you can say completely about the Hyderabad, and we all can be connected with this because Hyderabad is considered as a city of lakes. So as the citizens, we should have a basic knowledge about the lakes, and we all know that the situation is deteriorating. And Praveen has given me exactly 15 minutes, right? So you have to keep on telling me, and I'll make sure that I'll make out the time. Any of the questions we can discuss it further, right? So we will right. I'll use this one. Okay, fine. Let me check. Okay. So not discussing much about the Vansh organization started in 2014, and the basic aim is environmental protection. So we do recycle, research, and institution. Both the things are very much necessary, and I recently completed my MTech, Master in Technology and Environment Management from JNTU. Yes, of the lake, from the lake, by the lake. Right, that is how my eco-restoration principle is. During my journey, you will see how I'm trying to do all those things. I'm the only organization who got the National Water Award from Minister of Jal Shakti from 2019. Still only organization. Then we got many state and national awards. And last year and in 2022 as well, the Duanch organization has been recognized by NITI Aayog as the best restoration practices while doing for the lake restorations, right, all over India. So here I am basically keeping a case study before you, and it would be nice you can do an add-on, so it would be an interactive session also. But these are my observations while working on this lake. So this complete lake is used to be called as Ibrahim Bagh Cheru. So this used to be, now they are considered as two lakes because they both are receiving the different inlets. But earlier this is used to be called as Ibrahim Bagh Cheru, and the size of the lake is 108 acres, right? Then in 2017, it was decided that this lake, right, this is called the Pedda Cheru now. So Pedda Cheru and Chinna Cheru. Pedda means the bigger part, the Chinna is the smaller part. So Pedda Cheru will be restored by the irrigation department in 22 crores, right? So the model which they have decided is, they used to call it as a Bangalore model, where the inlet which is coming up here in the Hyderabad, the storm water and the sewage water is the same. So we do not have separate drains when it is coming to the lake, right? So all whatever it is coming up, it will be completely diverted, right? And then we will create the motorway, walkway, bundaway, cycleway, whatever, and many other things, rebating of all around will be done. So this was happened to this lake, right? So now this is the present photo of the graph lake, that this lake is completely dried up, right? This is the present photograph of this lake. So 2 years back, complete restoration of this particular lake has been done. This particular lake, where my organization and 25 acres is the approximately size of the smaller size. So Dhruvansh organization is restoring, and we are still receiving sewage water, right? We have not allowed the diversion. I am telling you my reasons also and my experiences also, right? Okay, so this is, sorry, little bit cold and cough, I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is again the present photographs of both the lakes. So Pedda Cheru you can see, the Chinna Cheru you can see. This is after 22 crores restoration of this lake, right? So the lake has very small, this part has the water, right? Very small water, which is whatever the fresh water is coming up. And this particular fresh water is completely covered by the aquatic weed, which is called water hyacinthia guroptica. So there is a myth that it is a sewage water weed. It is not like that. It is completely freshwater lake. Now I'll show you the close-up photographs. This is how the lake is. The Pedda Cheru. I'm showing you the Pedda Cheru photographs after the restoration. Right. So in those situations, now what is happening? This lake does not have water. This lake has water. Right. We will discuss further what is the situation. Now in this particular lake. In the downstream, the lakes recharge more towards the downstream and the lake recharges less towards the upstream. Okay. So this lake water is continuously recharging and the water is available at 300 to 400 feet here. And every day we find out 150 tankers which are filling the water from here and selling throughout the Hyderabad. The upside, we have 700 feet, the water is available, and more and more upstream you will go, obviously the water availability will be less. This is Pedda Cheru, right? Now here there is zero water or water is available at 1500 to 2000 feet in the downstream. Why? Because there is no water in this lake. The same upper stream, the depth is more. This is the biggest reason of the water bore wells dry up in the Bangalore. Because all the lakes, the water, whatever it is coming up, maximum lakes in the Bangalore are drained, dried up. Again, why the situation is like this? You see, it's complete construction is there. So do you feel any catchment area is possible? Obviously no catchment area possible. Now the situation is only FTL is left here. Even we do not have the buffers of the lakes. So from where the water will come out? Do we have any other arrangement of the system? And when we do not have such kind of the arrangement, what is the average case? Best case, yes, we should have fresh water. Right? We must have the fresh water inside the lake if the best case is available. Best case, what can be? We should have X, we should have good amount of the catchment area. Right? In that case, yes, we should have a fresh water should be in the lake. But now in those situations, when there is no buffer zone, no catchment area, nothing is left. The only point source of the water is sewage plus storm. Here we follow GO 168, which says that if there is a water in the lake cannot be encroached. And if there is no lake, no water in the lake, after 10 years, it can be denotified as lake. Right? So that is how I'm just trying to give you that how the climate change is affecting you. Here I'll give you more ideas about that. Okay, so if we protect just one lake, we actually protect these 9 SDGs. Again, what I've discussed, I'm just telling you that no more buffer zone left, water hyacinth filled lakes, even we have the fresh water also, no separate storm water during overflow. Now suppose if we have to create a STP, okay, let's assume that sewage is coming up, okay, we are stored, but now we have to create the STP, which is a very good idea. But do we have the place? We have only left FTL. And if we are creating STPs in the FTL, in those situations, again, those FTLs will not work, especially during the monsoon season, from the month of the June to the month of the November. So is there any benefit of making any kind of the STPs in the FTL of the lake? So this is how the situation, we need to understand the degradation level, what we are doing. No escape from the runoff. Now, if the runoff is coming up, I have literally observed that during the monsoon, the Neknampur lake becomes more dirtier. Because when the runoff is coming up from the roadside or something, it is bringing more dirt with it, petrol and everything, right? So in those situations, there is no escape from the sewage. Apart from that, again, and people come up, they empty their septic tank, right? They put the your animals, leftovers of the animals, right? Heads. We got heads, legs, everything regularly in the lakes, right? Apart from that, your expiry products, all the shopper stops, right? They put the expiry products in the lakes. So lakes are assumed as to just drain out everything. Dumping. Exactly. So in those situations, if you have a fresh water, suppose if you drain out also, you'll find out that lake your filled is many different things. The simple thing is that we cannot escape from the sewage. Right? This we need to understand. Okay. So this is again just last. Here I have come up with an idea which is called the lake health card. This is again devised by the MOEFC, that before diverting any sewage or draining any lake, we should understand what is the lake health of the lake, right? And believing on that lake health, we have to take the decision that what kind of the restoration parameters is required. It is something like your prescription, right? You go to a dentist, suppose if you have a fever, you go to a doctor, and accordingly they give you ki 5 ml ki dawai dena hai, ki 10 ml dena hai, ki 50 ml dena. It is not like that everybody is given the 100 ml de do. Like that. So every lake has a different kind of the lake health, and accordingly we have to devise. This is very much noted. So few things I'm mentioning here. We have to make it sure that when we are diverting any kind of the water, there should be groundwater storage. It should not hinder that. And then here, one thing again I mentioned, there are many things I'm not going in deep, right? You can read it on the online as well. That if we have the lake health between the 3 to 6, the drinking water BOD is below 3, right? But for the lake health, if the BOD is between 3 to 6, it is okay, right? Lake health is good. And same way, we should note down the good amount of the biodiversity, right? Which we still not taking while we are creating a lakefront or designing a lakefront kind of situations. Just few things I'll discuss more of like STP I've already told you, sewage diversion. Now encroachment, which is again very much important. So this is used to be the lake earlier 20 years back, okay? So 20 years back we used to have catchment area, inlet, and everything is perfect, and the depth used to be not in the southern region. The lakes are not used to be very deep. So outlet, which is called even the money contact is called the Pandan Vagu, means 100 meters wide nalas used to be in that time. Now what happened? So this is called the FTL, and after FTL, 30 meters is your buffer zone. Simple to understand, right? And then in the lakes, in the areas, we have patta lands and government lands. So patta land is Shikham Patta private areas, and okay. Now what happened? On the name of the protection of the lakes, right? We put a peripheral bunding, which is again introduced into the FTL of the lake. Right? This is introduced into FTL of the lake. Okay, fine, done. So now the FTL is here. Okay, again, so this is in 2000. So after 10 years, again we introduce one more inside the FTL of the lake. So now FTL is here, buffer zone is here. 30 meters is the buffer zone. 2020. Now we need walkways, cycleways, motorways, right? So again, one more parallel bundling has been done. Now the FTL is here, right? And with the 30 meters buffer zone, this is the situation. You understand how depth has introduced to 30 feet now. You understand? Earlier, the depth of the lakes were not that much high. Now the lake's depth is 30 feet. Got it? Obviously, we have to fill up the same water. See the outlet? The outlets are converted into the pipes. Right? We do not have now nalas. Most of the time, the outlets are converted into the pipes. Swimming pool model. The rest of the lake is totally riveted, and whatever is left, we do not have any biodiversity, nothing. And then we call it as a restoration model. So we need to understand somewhere that we have to change our procedures. Somewhere, because swimming pool is also a water body. Lake is also a water body. So what kind of a thing we actually need? Just giving a thought process. Right here, it is not a complaint. It's just an observation to tell you. Now we have one more geo, which says if the size of the lake is less than 10 hectares, then the buffer zone will be 9 meters. So in this case now, the buffer zone you have to live is only 9 meters. Got it? So this is how the situation is regularly on the basis happening. And somewhere we do not understand कि भाई पानी तो लेक में होना चाहिए था, रोड पे क्यों आ गया? अभी रोड पे है पानी, flash floods है. We are talking about this. So somewhere we are disturbing a little bit arrangements, and these can be fixed up. But we need to understand where the situations are happening. Okay. So this is what you see. The water is coming up. It looks like a waterfall. Yeah. Now what? This is the lake. This is Nitnampur Lake only. Okay. And water is seeping in this particular venture. This is the venture here. Water is seeping here. What we can understand? The depth of the lake, the depth of the venture, if it is more than the depth of the lake, then the water will flows from higher pressure to lower pressure. Though this construction is happening with all the pollutions. This construction is happening in the upstream of the lake. And CII is giving permissions to the green building to such kind of the things. I really want to mention this. So I really want, when you are giving the permissions to, I have a long list which I can mention you.
We are not the permission body.
I agree. But I really want to mention you that you need to see that maximum times when we have a flood or rains during this time, you will see very good apartments under the water. Right? Even if you go in the Sman Nagar, still they have their basement, very good properties, not a slum properties kind of thing under the water. So somewhere we are inviting all these things. So this site is here. It's in the upstream, right? It's not in the downstream. Got it? And see, and now he is going to create 20 floors of the building here. 20 floors of the building. Got it? So this is how the situation is happening, and somewhere maybe out of us, somebody has bought his property in this also. Okay. I really want to tell you that we all are talking about the net zero carbon emissions, right? So here we should know that water bodies are actually, they have a tendency to absorb a good amount of the carbon dioxide in the simple ways. Again, I'm not going in a typical ways. But what happened, the more and more the size of the carbon lake body is reduced, water body is reduced, they become carbon emitters. So in those situations, we need to again understand that what kind of the water bodies we need, right? If the water body is big enough, it can play a very big role in sequestering the carbon. But if the lake bodies are very less, they become actually the carbon emitters. I'll give you the more details in the further. Okay, so we are doing actually integrated floating treatment wetland technology. Again, the situation which is prevailing situations, because how we have to react with the citizens, environment, laws, everything. This particular technology I find out very comfortable at present. So this is Lake Nampur Lake, and we have a good amount of the water hyacinth, right? And from 2017 onwards, the lake has been never covered by the water hyacinth. So this is how we actually keep. So 20% we manage the water hyacinth in the lake because it is very good phytoremediation. Time is less, so I'm not going to explain each and everything. You can ask me the later questions. So we have created the floating treatment wetlands, which are helping us to actually to clean the water. So it is like nutrients removal, right? So you can understand like that. So what happened, as I told, now I do not have any place. I do not have a buffer zone. So in that case, I cannot create any constructed wetland. I cannot create any kind of the STP, conventional STP. I am only left with a floating technology. So again, I am telling you the average case or the prevailing conditions which is available to me, I have created this kind of the model. So this is one side of the inlet which is coming up. So again, we have created some bridges and floating islands. I'll go in more detail. So this is how the floating treatment wetlands look. And this is a soil-less hydroponics technology where all the plants are floating on the water, giving a competition to the water hyacinth as well as removing the nutrients from the water. So this is quite good enough. More details you can find out more about on the Google also. Okay, so these are the reduction parameters which I really found it very effective. So BOD can be reduced to 87%. So these are more where we have used the floating aerators. So we are using the horsepower aerators as 2 horsepower sludge motors using for the floating aerators. Yeah. So again, it is to introduce the oxygen. Simple. Not going again in detail. So these are the advantages. Okay. So I have found out if we use the integrated floating wetland technology where we are treating the inlets, we are using the phytoremediation plants, we are using the floating islands, floating aerators, and definitely the maintenance, which is very much important. I find out all these things because whenever I'm talking to the irrigation department, maximum officer told me that they are going to the court, right? But in this particular technology, you find out that there is no breach of any kind of the act, right? And you have your natural way of the lake with the protection, with the good assessments. So no need to give the LDR, TDRs, even the biodiversity space, conventional STPs, no sewage diversion is required here. Just I'll show you the parameters as well. Okay, so this is the July 2023 to December 2023 pollution control parameters of the Lake Nampur Lake. And you will see the BOD is 8, 10, 8, 6, 6.86. So between 6 to 8, the BOD of the Lake Nampur Lake varies. Right, so it is a combination what we are doing. It's not only the floating treatment wetlands, it's a combination which is helping us to keep such, though we are receiving the sewage, but lake is acting as a wetland which is called the kidney of spaces, right? So kidney spaces, we have green spaces, we have lung spaces, but the main work of the wetland is the kidney spaces and it is working very fine. So in those situations, we should have a lake health card which tells us that whether this particular lake needs diversion or does not need the diversion, and if there is any other availability of the water if the sewage and storm is diverted. So this is complete integrated wetland technology. We have introduced many lakes in Hyderabad. So this is how the Lake Nampur Lake looks with the floating treatments and other things. So we have the construction here, you see, right, directly in the lake only. So when you come, you will find out that we have such kind of the constructions all around the lake. So, okay, this I really want to read you. The nature-based solutions like wetland conservation as well as restoration could generate up to 12 billion of CO2 emission in mitigation benefits per year. This level of the supply largely meets current expectations concerning the demand of the voluntary carbon markets. If we restore our water bodies, this is just I really want you to read, back to the healthy condition, the revenue generated only out of the carbon sequestration could be so high that the ULBs can literally go tax-free. Then you can decide that whether it is possible or not. Yes, but when we are talking about the carbon emissions, when we are talking about the net zero emissions, this is very much needed that we have to think about it. The climate change on a very larger perspective, not on a very small. So this is something about the Singapore, right? Just I'm sharing the wetlands which are done and how they are doing it. More concerned about the plants and biodiversity. I'm just finishing in 2 minutes. So, I make it sure that biodiversity, again, when we talk about when the civil engineering, sometimes we forget that the biodiversity play a very big role, because as we have the food chain, the same way we have the scavenger chain. And the scavenger chain has a very large capacity to actually remove the sludge from the lakes, right? This is again a proven technology. So in those situations, we have good amount of the fish in the lake, we have good amount of the turtles surviving in the lake. In fact, more than 2,000 turtles are present in the Lake Nampur Lake. I'll just finishing as fast as possible. So this is how the volunteers give us the photographs. Now we started 2000 plantation in 2016 and now taking care everything. The lake has 1 lakh plantation as well. So this lake looks very beautiful and it's still green at this present time if you come. Thank you. So we have these sewage pipes, 65 sewage pipes. There's nobody was taking care, neither the private sector nor the government sector. So we just erected them and painting. So I always say off the lake, from the lake, by the lake. So the beautification what we have done is just present at the lake only. And we keep on doing a lot of experiments, changing, testing. So more challenges now since we have the band and people are coming and they even kill these peahens. You forget about other animals. Right? So if we talk about the climate from the basic to the every higher, the people are not thinking about that. If you're just going ahead, just try a little bit slowly. So many things need to be. The pythons, we have a good amount of the rock pythons, but we get their photographs only when they die. Crushed Russell viper. This is a very fast snake, but we got the photograph after it is crushed. Okay, so this is again the biodiversity threats. Again, when we are talking about the climate change, global warming, we need that we have a good amount of the invasive species which is attacking us. So we are just thinking about very superficial ways. This is the Neknampur Lake photographs. These are real photographs which I am regularly observing. So this is called the alligator fish. And somebody has come and what happened? They bring from the America. When the size is bigger enough, they throw to the Indian lakes. This is very regularly happening. So this is again red-eared terrapin. It may be possible, it may be present in your home also. It is considered as a little bit auspicious, but this is a very aggressive terrapin and it kills the native species. Carp, right? This is actually banned in India, but still you will find out in any other aquarium available in the Hyderabad. So these are the species, when they grow enough, they are thrown into the lakes. This is regularly happening. And how our lakes, in fact, I have seen the Langar House Lake, Sheikhpet Lake, which are literally ecologically disturbed lake. So now, since we are obsessed towards the Americans and the Chinese are obsessed towards the Indians, so we have good amount of the poachers at the Neknampur Lake. We got a gang of 50, and the forest department finally we got it here. So it was a movie kind of fight here. What they do with this? They directly burn because they need the shell, right? And they powdered and they sell it to the China. So this is regularly happening. I am able to report because I am monitoring the Neknampur Lake. Rest of the lakes, what is happening still I don't know. So monitor lizard is still it is eaten very commonly. People actually eat its meat, and the claw is used for the black magic. So it is very common in that. Okay, so some good photographs of the Neknampur Lake again, and voluntary activities we keep on doing. So of the lake, from the lake, by the lake, many things we are, even the beer bottles we keep on doing it. So recycling, observing the things, then come up with the new technologies, everything we have to do sometimes parallelly, right? At present, because we are in the war kind of the situation, right? We cannot decide that we aise nahi ladna, we aise ladna hai. We have to actually find out the ways and find. Just finishing with last thing. So these are the activities we are regularly conducting at the lake. Yeah, I really like this, that what is mitre? So 500 years back, yes, sword was mitre. During the independence struggle, it's the pen who becomes the mitre. Now at this time, we need to understand the hand has to be mitre because we need to decide when we have to pick up the pen and when we have to pick up the sword. So this is my request, that this is the time the climate change is coming, this is the climate war, so we need to understand कि थोड़ा से काम नहीं चलेगा, थोड़ा से ज़्यादा करना पड़ेगा. Thank you guys, my responsibility.
Thank you, ma'am. So I request Dr. Dr. Professor at Center for Water Resource, JNTU, Hyderabad. He's awarded National Award for Best Contribution towards Conservation of Water in Individual Categories 2019, awarded by Water Management Forum. His National Award for Save the Environment Water Award 2022, awarded by CSR Navy, Delhi, Journal Standard, and RSC London in 2023. Results.
Good afternoon to all of you. We're going for you all visiting long time. From morning 10 o'clock. Continuously listen. Surprisingly, I'm wondering, whatever the topic we are listening, we have started studying from our 6th class, 7th class onwards. I don't know. We know all, but only probably how much we are implementing. That is the big question. So all of us knows water, and all water applications were doing linearly. First point we need to focus, at least now onwards, this 2024 World Water Day, think about how we can go for circularity water management, not the linear. We take the water from each and every places, we have the groundwater, we use it and it goes into the drains. How long will we continue this linearity? Maybe we need to go for a water circularity. To maintain the water circularity, what infrastructure we need? All of I understood from the session was most of them are irrigation plants, right? If we are not able to prepare water circularity, then who is going to prepare the water circularity in this society? Wherever we use water, we need to make it as a water circularity, at least now what's plan for it. Create the necessary infrastructure. Suppose if it is a water is coming from the domestic waste, identify the necessary infrastructure to treat it and reuse. May not be for drinking, but all other purposes. Maybe for agriculture. Similarly, rainwater coming from the atmosphere, all of us knows is good without any impurities, physical, chemical, biological, and elemental contamination. And we know that this is the first water coming from the atmosphere, and all other water is derived from the rainwater. Either it is a lake water, atmospheric water, soil water, groundwater, underground water, sea water, lake water. What is water is derived from rainwater, and it is the first water, and it is a pollution-free with respect to all other waters. But we need to question ourselves: how many of us following that? How many of our premises we made it is a zero discharge premises? How many of our water usages we make it is a water circularity? This is what we need to think at least now onwards and try to make it is a water circularity instead of water linearity. Otherwise, whatever just now Madam also mentioned, there are 17 SDGs. Again, we are studying and listening various forums, sustainable development goals, and Government of India signed on behalf of us, assuming that all we are trying to help them to achieve the sustainable development goals. And 6 is a direct clean and sanitation and hygienic water. And another 8 sustainable goals are depends on the water. There is no water, there is no life. Above on the land, there is no life. There is no agriculture, right? There is no hydrology, there is no water, there is no life. All SDGs are interlinked with the SDG 6. So unless otherwise we make it is a water circularity, then it is difficult for us to survive in the on this planet Earth, and we are continuing the linearity. So maybe these are of main focus, and with that we are taking a rainwater harvesting. So again, it is the same story. Everyone knows rainwater harvesting is made it is a mandatory by the bylaws, and the High Court has given the direction in the combined states of Andhra Pradesh in the 2001. All the government and private buildings need to have the rainwater harvesting. But again, question: how many of us having the rainwater harvesting system? If not, why we are not doing? Why we are not creating awareness to the society? So this is what we need to think. So this is what we will discuss, and climate change already we covered. This is with respect to the climate change because of irrigation engineers. So as the temperature is increases, as by 2019 newspaper Deccan Chronicle from the IPCC reports mentioned that 4-degree temperature may go into rise in another 20-30 years. Just we need to recalculate, can we supply water to our command area? The catchment area is same. Maybe rainfall may be more or less same, but temperature increases. As the temperature increases, can we supply water to downstream for our agriculture fields? If it's not supplying, then what is the alternatives for us? Because the climate change is going to happen, it is happening, and the temperature will rise. Either rainfall will come more or less, that maybe we cannot assure, we cannot predict. But IPCC downscaling model, general circulation model says Hyderabad will receive more water, but at what time, at what period, during the monsoon period or during the Kharif period, during the Rabi period, we do not know. Then how we are going to supply water to our command area with the available water and increased evaporation and increased transpiration and increased evapotranspiration. That's what it is, a climate change and all. This is what it is, a water circularity, and we need to focus more now, moving towards water linearity to water circularity, and what is the infrastructure requirement for it. Maybe giving the water, maybe new technologies are converting from our crop rotation from paddy to commercial crops, or giving the flood irrigation to drip irrigation. So what are the various other methods which we need to focus on that? And Government of India given another manual called Stormwater Management in the Ministry of Urban Affairs. Ministry of Urban Affairs, Housing and Urban Affairs, they developed a manual under the organization called Central Public Health Environment Engineering Organization. It's called Manual on Stormwater Management. If we are not understanding the stormwater management, if we means all of us, not only you, whatever your 40 people city, right? All the citizens in the Telangana state and all health surface. If you are not understanding the stormwater management and erosion is increasing, runoff is increasing, runoff coefficient is increasing, and sedimentation is increasing. Some of the report says by 2050, 1/4 of our water dam capacity is going to fill with the sedimentation. So do we need to start now only how to implement stormwater management in our catchment area? Most of the things, see the urbanization, civilization, industrialization may be difficult for us to stop. We cannot, can anyone say some measures to stop the urbanization? Can anyone suggest some industrialization? We are encouraging the industries to come and do the industrialization. That's under the era of industrial revolution. In the green revolution, we ask the farmers to use fertilizers and pesticides without any accountability. We only encourage. We means agriculture scientists encourage. Use more urea, more potash, more NPK, but we never explained how to use it. Farmers take 1 bag of urea and they put in at the time of planting the rice. Can all the 1 bag of urea will be taken by the plants? No. But we have never explained to distribute it uniformly. Right? So this is what is happening, green revolution, industrial revolution, right? And now it is a e-waste revolution. People are using left and right all the instruments and putting into the garbage. So this is the stormwater management. Maybe if possible, time permits, go through the stormwater management which is available in the internet. What are the practices can be taken care in our catchment area? How to reduce the storm runoff into the catchment, into the dam, into the reservoir? How to reduce the sedimentation into the reservoir? If we are not doing, then who will do? We are the in charges and we are the resident officers, and you can implement and you can educate the farmers and you can educate the civil society how to apply this stormwater management. So maybe I'll touch the remaining part. Success story of the JNTH campus. So at Hyderabad, we are sitting on a Deccan plateau, and after 6 feet, we'll identify or we'll find a hard rock called granite, which is a difficult part for us to inject the water naturally. So then we modified the methodology which is available in the Central Groundwater Board, and we made our university a zero discharge university with respect to the rainwater. It's a 100 acres campus, and every year we are capable enough to harvest 10 crore liters of water. Earlier, all these 10 crore liters of water in the year is going as a waste. We modified the design and implemented, if possible, I'll see some of this. And all of us knows rainwater harvesting or rainwater is a fresh water, purest form in the nature before touching the ground. before touching any land use and land cover. Depends on what type of land use, land cover, then rainwater starts getting polluted. That's the reason Ministry of Jal Shakti says, stop the water, stop the rain wherever it falls, whenever it falls. Harvest the rain whenever it falls and wherever it falls. Not to allow longer distance. If it falls on this rooftop, collect nearby, inject it. Otherwise, if it is travel to the storm, to the sewage tank, maybe to the landfill, to the agriculture field, to the industrial field, depends on that, it starts getting polluted. Even if you recharge at that time, it will get more polluted. Understanding this concept, rainwater is the purest form, then if you inject into the ground, if you inject into the ground through the rainwater harvesting system, this fresh water goes into the aquifers, maybe a confined aquifer, unconfined aquifer, which is available for Hyderabad terrain up to 100 feet, up to 200 feet, up to 100 feet we have a confined aquifer, unconfined aquifer, 150 to 250 feet we have a confined aquifer. If we inject this water, fresh water into the ground, the contaminated water gets diluted. It's a simple concept of dilution. Simple concept of dilution. Morning I was meeting in the state groundwater board. The groundwater board earlier used to worry quantity. Now groundwater board they are saying that we are more worried about quality also. Because people are going deeper and deeper, and many a times we feel that as we are going deeper and deeper, we feel that we are not getting the fresh water. No. You may get a transparent water, but it's not a fresh water. It may be contaminated with the fluoride, it may be contaminated with nitrates, contaminated with the phosphates, contaminated with the cyanide, contaminated with the radioactive elements. Without understanding this, we have a money power, we are drilling deeper and deeper to get the water. And we sell, and sometimes some places people promote that I am going deeper layers and I am trying to get the fresh water. No. What type of pollution? It depends on what type of contamination. Either it is done geogenic or anthropogenic. If the nearby industry is nearby Patancheru, nearby Balanagar, we get all types of chemicals and heavy metals into the groundwater. We are removing or we are forgetting what is the water falling on our rooftop and trying to collect water from the groundwater or from the other rivers. So somebody was questioning me, sir, fresh water, surface water, river water is good when compared with the rainwater. River water also derived from rainwater. River rain falling in the forest, rain falling in the agriculture, rain falling in the industrial area and the urban area, this starts overflowing and coming slowly and jamming into the river. If you start tasting river water also, you get a lot of contamination. So rainwater is the only available water in the nature without any pollution. If we inject that into the ground without much interaction with the earth crust surface directly into the aquifers, then the contaminated water also can be diluted. That's what we have done in the Nalgonda area, where we know that fluoride concentration is very, very high. Sometimes we notice 10 ppm. Allowed is 1.5 ppm. Most of them you may be knowing. Some places we are seeing 10 ppm, but allowed is only 1.5 ppm. When the rainwater is injected directly into the aquifer, it gets diluted. Simple dilution concept. So wherever it is a salt water, maybe contaminated with the mine water, maybe contaminated with the fluoride water, then use the rainwater harvesting is the solution to dilute. So this is what it is, a climate change and that's all. So we may receive extreme rainfalls, so we should have a capacity to harvest the rainfalls. So total quantity of the rainfall across the globe or water availability across the globe is same. Only it is changing its distribution spatially, temporally. So we may get the same rainfall around 1000 mm in the state of Telangana, but maybe we receive 150 mm in one day, maybe 200 mm in day. Should have a capacity to harvest and store either on the surface or below the surface. Below the surface, naturally, groundwater aquifer system is available directly, we can store it. And if you recall, many a times people say how to identify the aquifer system. If you go to any place, earlier, maybe recall in the childhood, we used to get water in 10 feet. Means there is aquifer system at 10 feet. Then people gone up to 40 feet, 50 feet, there is aquifer. 100 feet, there is aquifer. Hand pumps. Used to one hand pump for one village, people in entire village used to survive. Means there is aquifers available. These all aquifers now empty. Now it is ready to store the water. If you collect it properly, if you use our energy, if you use our knowledge, and if you disseminate this information to the society and make awareness to the people, public, then they go for a rainwater harvesting system. So they said it is a prediction based on the IPCC models and based on the general circulation models. There may be rise by 4 degrees in the coming decades. Imagine how much quantity of the water is need to be available. As of now, the present trend is Bangalore. We are not getting, people are not getting water in the Bangalore. At least Bangalore used to have a localized water supply systems. But Hyderabad now we depend on only one source of system, one or two, maybe Krishna water and Godavari water. Imagine if the drought comes in the upper streams, the upper catchment. If the water is not available in Godavari and Krishna, so any city can face the same problem. So we need to have a localized system, rainwater harvesting system and all. Is all we need to understand it. So these are all the basics. So this is what it is, a simple concept. Again, I am trying to explain the precipitation. It is the only source and it is a pollution free. And as engineers and so we need to reduce the surface runoff. What are the mechanisms? What are the mechanisms you develop? We need to reduce the surface runoff, increase the infiltration. This is the only simple solution. To arrest or to make or to not to make the like a Bangalore city, the only solution is reduce the surface runoff, increase the infiltration. Because what all our activities, what we are doing is reverse. So the permeable land we are converting into impermeable land. We construct, nowadays farmhouses are coming, people are constructing half acre, 1 acre. Earlier this half acre is a permeable layer, water is to percolate to the soil. Now we made it a impermeable layer, and all these half acre means yearly we get 1 crore liters of water which we are doing as a waste. So this is what it is, urbanization disturbs the natural cycle. This is a natural water cycle. Nature knows how to circulate the water uniformly, and but our intervention is happening, and because of this percolated, it is impermeable layer. Like impermeable layer, groundwater flow is reduced, water level is reduced, and this is the clear water and steady water, but it is unsteady water and it is a polluted water because of the runoff is increased. All of us knows runoff, when the runoff increases, velocity increases. When the velocity increases, erosion increases. Erosion comes and deposits into the water body. We need to go for it towards a much more sustainable urban water cycle. There is no unique model that we have to prepare this and implement here everywhere and all. No. This is the nature-related system. So we need to have our own innovative, sustainable urban water cycles. Depends on what type of quality of output coming from our premises. What is the characteristics of our output coming from our premises? According to that, whether you want to go for a wetland treatment, or you want to go for a nano solution treatment, or you want to go for STP, whatever system you want to develop, you can develop and treat it and release into the stream after treated with the physical, chemical, and biological parameter. Now, even NGT, National Green Tribunal, is not accepting the sewage to be treated up to a preliminary level. Now, we need to treat preliminary, secondary, and tertiary. Then only you have to release that water into the natural water body or into the soil. This is what it is. We say we need to develop what is the infrastructure required for all this. And this is what we say it is a circularity. If you are not doing all this, then we can't stop floods. That may be Hyderabad, that may be Bangalore, that may be Cochin, everywhere. The floods will come everywhere, droughts will come. Surface and groundwater getting polluted, and once the water is polluted, even though you have a lot of infrastructure, it is difficult to bring it back into original one. Soil gets polluted and base flow is reduced many a times, and groundwater is getting into the deeper layers, and finally freshwater ecosystem gets damaged. This is what it is, a Jal Shakti Abhiyan, and Telangana state government also campaigning on water resources, rainwater harvesting at SNEEP. So these are the cases where we can do it, 5 aspects: reuse and recharge structure. As an individual, so maybe after going back to home, see where is our water falling in our premises, either apartment or independent house or villas, what is the water coming, and rooftop is there, water is coming freely, and we have a downpour pipe, it is also free, and already you have invested where that downward water pipe is going, whether it is connected to sewer line whether it is connected to water tank, whether it is connected flowing on the road, so where it is going, just check, and that vertical pipeline may be connected to the horizontal and connect to a sump. Each and every house have a storage sump in the below the ground, above the ground. Maybe 5,000, 5,000, 10,000, 10,000, depends on the house. Maybe 10,000 minimum, calculating from bottom and top. So, and connect this vertical pipe, put a horizontal pipe, put into the sump. Hardly it will cost 1,000 rupees and less than 1,000. Even less than 1,000. And many a times people start questioning, sir, rooftop dust may be there. River is flowing on the dust. We can put the filter, first rain separator if needed, or we can make clean, or we can put the plastic sheet. There are a number of ways, number of methodologies are given in the websites, but only we need to have that attitude and mindset need to change. Each one of you can save 1 lakh, 2 lakh liters, and imagine 50 members, 50 into 2 lakhs, 1 crore liters in this house only started. And this will spread this dissemination and information and create the awareness, adopt a school, go to the school and explain what is the rainwater harvesting. You are the leaders and you are the having a lot of knowledge with respect to the water resources. If we are not doing as a civil engineers, who will do? And who is going to save this society? So this is what you can do, use and reuse, recharge structure, simple. You can reuse it. First, initially we can go for a domestic use, then test the water quality, and if you feel if it is better than your RO water, you can drink it. As per the statistics, as per the literature, it is much, much, much better than RO water. RO water is not a mineral water, it is a demineralized water. TDS is less than 50, TDS is less than 20, and some ventures they write, we have RO system with a 0 TDS. And we are also happy to purchase. And we are ready to invest 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs for interiors, we are not interested to invest 40,000, even 4,000 for rainwater harvesting system. So we can go for a use and reuse, and starting from domestic, drinking, and calculate the storage required. And many a times we'll say simply, we don't have a capacity to store used water. How much capacity you require? How many people? All nuclear families only, right? We're not saying combined families. Nuclear means maximum 4. 4 into 10 liters per day, 40 liters. 40 into 365, take 400, 40 into 400, 16,000 liters. Is it a big storage? Very small storage. If we store 16,000 liters, your drinking is matched. No need to depend on RO water. And bubble is costing 25 liters, each liter is 1 rupee. And if you are saving 16,000 in a year, means you are saved 60,000 rupees, and your knee pains are. This is what we need to understand, what is the nature. Somehow we know the nature, that's why I told in the beginning, we know the nature, but we are not following the nature. We are not implementing the nature. We are busy in earning and we are spending and losing our health also. So then you can go for a recharge structure wherever you are working in your work area. 3 minutes. So recharge structures, you can have recharge structure to recharge the excess water into the ground, then water conservation, dissolve watershed development. So this is what it is happening, changes in the surface runoff over a period. Earlier we used to get a fresh water, now we are getting only colored water because of the runoff coefficient is increased. So videos and all maybe. So we need to go for it. This is what we have studied. Some abroad people studied, even and the Central Water Commission also studied and said by 2050, 25% to 35% our dams is going to be with sedimentation. And irrigation engineers is going to face the challenge. It's not water supply to the citizens. We have to supply water to the agriculture field, right? So this is what we'll skip some of the slides. So this is what it is a nature, and this is what we made it. So we need to identify what are the infrastructure required to convert back this. That's what I told you. We need to think water circularity and the infrastructure requirement, not the water linearity and all. That days are gone now. Demand is increased, civilization is increased. We need to meet the requirement. That requirement we can meet only with the water circularity and necessary infrastructure. So this is the manual on stormwater drainage. These are sustainable development goals. Out of the 17 goals, 8 goals are directly connected to the water. That's what Madam also mentioned earlier. We can read it, how it is integrated. So this is what water circularity. So we need to understand now water circularity, rainwater harvesting. Directly you can use for managed aquifer recharge. You can directly treat if it requires minimum treatment, go for a water supply. And so surface source, treat it and go for a water supply. Whatever the water supply coming in the form of wastewater, treat it and send it as a surface water source. Then finally, after number of times used, then send it to the treatment process. This is what we need to understand, and we need to this urban runoff, treat it linked with the water supply, not only from the surface water source or the groundwater source. So this is what is the framework required to develop or adopt the several innovative technologies to go for a circularity. So then only we'll have a freshwater ecosystem. So this is what it is in today's thinking. In nutshell, in 1 second, right? Even if you tilt the umbrella within a fraction of a second, you can fill the bowl, but we are not interested. Where it depends on the secondary sources. This secondary source is derived from the primary source and it is a much polluted than the primary source. But still we are interested. Drinking water is supposed to be colorless, tasteless and odorless, and most of your water bottles are taste. Added minerals. What minerals? Sugar and salt. Maybe in future sugar patient may be difficult to drink water also because it's added sugar into it. So this is what it is. Anyway, we'll skip some of the slides. So rainwater harvesting is the solution. So the rainwater harvesting is harvest it, filter it, store it, use it. If it is excess than your domestic requirement, recharge it. You are not authorized to waste that water from your premises. There are 2 minutes. So these are the various techniques available in the central groundwater board. So this is a success story. We modified the methodology. So this is the stormwater drain going as a waste, and we stopped here and taken this is the perforated geotextile with the 125 micron. Only fine dust will settle, remaining water filtered to this. Then it filtered to the sand, filtered to the media. Sand also works as a filtration. Then after 8 feet, it enters into the pipeline. This pipeline is a reverse borewell we call our injection well. This borewell will take directly to the aquifer where aquifers are empty. We can test it or we can go for a resistivity survey and all. So this is what we have done, 1 lakh liters capacity storage tank. All 40,000 square meters of rooftop we harvested. So this is the methodology what I telling modified. So we are sitting on a Deccan plateau on a rock. So water touching this water column will build up and starts overflowing. Whenever your rainwater harvesting pit is overflowing, means it is not designed properly. Simple. It is not designed as per your intensity of the rainfall and area of the rainfall and the quantity of the water available. So what we have done when the water is building up, we made the holes in the PVC pipeline. There is a hydraulic gradient is created and water is carried from surface to subsurface water in the fraction of seconds without interaction. Then this fresh water mixes with the polluted water, or it is a contaminated water with respect to the fluorides, with respect to the saline, or with respect to the any other material, it gets mixed and gets diluted. And we also added geotextile on the top of it, which are not there. Generally, we go for a coarse sand. Coarse sand initially permeable, then go for it converts that into impermeable soil. Then a mud cake will be formed. This mud cake will not allow water to penetrate and starts overflowing. And it stops the water, and it is a source for generation of mosquitoes. To avoid that, we have gone for a geotextile. It is just like a tiles on the floor, clearing. Maybe you'll appreciate the quantity of the water coming and gets filtered without any inundation, without ponding, without with the minimum time the water comes and going into the deeper layers. The cost of the structure as per SSR, including SSR, it is a 1.5 lakhs. ఇది వేల లీటర్లు వేస్ట్ పోయేది. అదంతా మనం బాగా వచ్చేది లక్షలు. ఎక్కడ ఎన్ని వాటర్ పోతున్నాయి ఎంతమంది. So that was the video live recorded in the campus in the Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad. So where I am working, this is the we can also do. So another point I forgot to tell you, even you can ask any nearby industries, nearby schools, you can donate this type of rainwater harvesting system under the corporate social responsibility. Hardly it costs less than 1 lakh rupees, and you are the expert in designing, right? So identify where is the mouth of the watershed of your premises where you are living, and go for this type of rainwater harvesting system. The life is minimum 50 years, right? So these all we can say it is a trend lines, and we are doing this is on this funds received from the Central Groundwater Board as a demonstration purpose. So we are doing a lot of demonstration. So you can see in the websites, putting my name or JNT, you will get it. This is the fluoride. So I told you. So what is the solution for fluoride? We are giving the water to the machine Bhagiratha, machine Kadati, and dilution and defluorination. Using the RO systems is a reject water. It's a brain water management. There is no reject water management technology across the globe. Water we are taking 1.5 input water fluoride may be a 10 ppm. All of you please listen this carefully. 10 ppm, and we are getting 1.5 ppm as output, and there is a reject water. Any treatment technology will have a 3 input, output, and reject. This reject water ppm is it more than 10? Is more than 1.5? Is more than 50? Because input is 10, we have taken only 1.5. Less 10 minus 1.5, 8.5 is residual. So 10 is initial. Mass balance it comes 10 plus 8.5. This 18.5 ppm of the fluoride, we are taking the water from the ground, maybe 200 feet, with the 10 ppm, and we are releasing on the surface with the 18.5 ppm, 500 liters per day, and it is 365 days. Are we finding the solution for the pollution, or we are increasing the pollution? And it is the soil pollution is increasing, and local people they may not be aware of this water RO system. This reject water looks transparent. They may collect it and they can use for all other purposes, including domestic. We are giving more problem. We are creating more pollution. But our solution, our idea is all the surface runoff we are sending into the underground. Water levels are increased. When the water levels are increased, power consumption is reduced. Soil moisture is increased. Groundwater is recharged, and water quality is improved. Power consumption is also reduced. Right? These are advantages. We have tested one area in the school campus near Nalgonda. Maybe the table is there. See, we started with the 7.45 initially at the 24th May 2017, and in September 2023 it is a 1.36. Entire aquifer is diluted by spending maximum of 1 lakh rupees. And none of the solution available except 1 or 2 Nalgonda defluorination and 1 or 2 solution remaining all the generating lot of waste. Means it is again a pollution. But our system, all the water we are sending into the ground, water level increase, soil moisture increase, water is readily available, power consumption is reduced. So we are meeting 4-5 sustainable development goals with the one rainwater harvesting system. These all will. So because of the lack of time, I move fast. So if you have any difficulty, any doubts, you can ask us.
Any questions? Thank you, sir. Expertise. It has also zero discharge standard. We have also constructed rainwater structures. We will share the feedback form. Please fill the feedback forms. So, a brief 5-minute discussion on reducing water footprint of education institution and vendor development in climate smart agriculture. The speakers, Sri P. Sudhir Kumar, from Institute of Environmental Conservation under the IECA. I welcome you, sir. Sir is the Army of IIT Bombay, is recognized for promoting sustainable practices through workshop and curriculum integration.
Sir. Yeah, good evening all. I hope total technical discussion has happened so far. I will speak only on the implementation part. So I was a higher education specialist who acts as the implementer on the sustainable development goals. So this is one of the major area I work as a part of Institute for Environment Conservation and Advocacy. So in that, as an individual, this initiative we have taken 4 months back. District Eco SDG Challenges 2023. This we have released only for the educational institutions across the nation. So why only educational institutions is, educational institutions, there are 45,000 educational institutions in the whole country. If we say in the 45,000 education schools or educational institutions, there is a minimum of 1,000 students, and these 1,000 students have their minimum 3 family members. As we make them implement some small activity, there will be a massive change in the families of the country. This is the idea that we have undertook with in collaboration with the environmentalists, and we have designed it. As an individual, I took the support of environmentalists, 2 to 3 environmentalists. I have taken the support, and I have prepared this. You can go down, sir. We have given 29 activities across the students, for the students. 29 lo any 10 activities you do and submit the report to us. And cheppesi very, very doable activities icham on the sustainable development goals. So, and we have seen from 25 states we got the participation. Across the nation, I have just released this brochure to the universities, institutions, through the support, as I have worked with the Ministry of Education Department. I took the help of the university departments, and I shared this brochure with them. And we got a massive response. That is, around 150 institutions have done the activities, these small activities. So right now we are promoting these implementation of activities encouraging sustainable development goals. So I am here today to help to get the support from you. What are the doable activities on water from your side? What are the doable activities by a student in his campus or at home or in his community? What are such doable activities you can suggest us? So you can send an email or you can send a message. I have very short time, only 5 minutes was given. So any small activities we will be sharing because it was accepted by the public, and they were doing that. You can see in the YouTube video also, there were around some 400 videos uploaded by the educational institutions on this district eco SDG championship. So we have these kind of activities they have uploaded in the Instagram. The students are taking it as a their learning, and we have involved the students as the interns for implementing these sustainable development goals. So this is the one point I would like to share. And these students, what we are promoting is we are promoting the project based learning. The student in the first year or second year, he was taken as an intern. We are not taking third years because they need to get into the jobs at the next level. We are taking the second years and first year ending candidates. We are taking them and we are involving them in the program, and we are involving them in the implementation of SDGs as a part of it. So far, we have trained around some 900 students in this aspect. So, and in the span of 8 months, I can say. So, this is the human resource that we are speaking about. So, not about the in a real time, as this human resource, this they will impact the total communities. That is the idea, and to take it forward, I can give my mobile number and the email ID. We would like to get the suggestions on the small doable activities by any candidate. In his like we have given small activities in the institution, like carry bag in college bag, cloth carry bag. They only have to stitch it and get to the college. That is the activity we have given. And we have also given millet lunch box, and they have adopted it for weeks, some 3-4 weeks. They have invited us for that millet lunch also. So we went to the institutions and we participated in the millet lunch programs. So you can suggest us what are the doable activities, like water audits related to the water testing. What small activities that can be done by a normal student if he is under the internship or inside the institution, inside a classroom, along with in collaboration with the institution or a faculty member. What can be the doable activities? You can please suggest us. I was here for that inputs today. So yeah, as a part of this World Water Day, you can send me an email also to the list of activities. I can take your details also from Praveen Garu. So as I was given very less time, we are also working on the environment education curriculum. We are inculcating this environment education into the curriculum. Generally, environment means these days it is a class of some 30 hours, and there is no project has been given. And in future, many of the green jobs are going to come into place. So, how the students without getting any training, how can they become the green job holder? So this is my point, and I would like to get the inputs from you, and we will take it forward. Any suggestions or any inputs? Different esteemed departments are there here. Today I can see. You can suggest me, and we can take it forward. Any suggestions? You can give it up. I hope. Yes. Yes. So I will give my email ID. Email ID I will give. SK Global IACBE @gmail.com. IACBE. To that you can send an email. Any suggestions on the water activities? So we have we have created a manual also for this kind of activities for inculcating the curriculum into the institutions. You can see in our website, that is ieca.info. ieca.info. In that you can see all these activities, small doable activities. We do the programs with the institutions. By seeing these activities, we are getting the request from other countries also. such kind of activities, can you please suggest us for our university? Recently, we had the discussion with Bangladesh Daffodil International University. They have, after seeing our website, they have called us. So, and we are suggesting them some activities on the SDGs. So these are very, very small implementable activities which are we are facilitating to the institutions. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, madam, hold the call. Sita Maharashtra. Madam, so right now we have a panel discussion for 15 minutes. Uh, uh, So, we are actually running behind schedule. My session was to be in the morning itself because of various reasons got postponed. But I'll take only 5 minutes. The message has to go that we are preparing state action plan for water sectors in Telangana. Okay. So this is about EPTRI. I think you have spent almost a day. You know about this. Global warming also you know. And these are the top 10 GHG emission countries. So India, you can see the fourth position in terms of GHG emissions. But if you take the per capita emissions, India is the 10th position. We are not trying to take shelter under the population because, however, we are not the polluters, but we are trying to. Our honorable Prime Minister says that we are trying to. We are part of the solution rather than we were never a part of the problem. The Western countries, because of which the GHG emissions are down. But we, per capita emissions, we are at 10th position. So these are the key messages of IPCC. Say that the global surface temperature have already increased by 1.07, and already we are experiencing so many extremes. The rainfall intensity has increased. Telangana gets about 950 mm rainfall, but the rainfall is not distributed, and we are getting high intensity rains, and again there is a gap. That is we are experiencing. Okay. So this is worldwide. Now we conduct a lot of training programs for foreign officials. Everywhere the problem is there. High intensity, and again there is a dry spell. So these are the future. We need to keep the global scientists say that we need to keep the temperature below 2 degrees. Already it has crossed 1.1 degree. 1.5 over the previous year. But if you take the average, it is 1.1.
Average.
Copernicus.
February 2023.
Yes, 1 year. That is 1 year average. If you take the from 1750 onwards, after the post-industrialization, we are still at 1.1. So coming to India, the global surface temperature has increased by 1.1. In India, it has increased by 0.61 degree. Okay, Telangana also it is 0.61. So this is future, and these are the potential impacts of climate change. Due to increase in temperature, the yields, agriculture is going down. Increase in temperature is causing the yield going down. But whereas the increase in carbon dioxide is increasing the yield. Heat is reducing the yield, carbon dioxide is increasing the yield. But however, overall it is decreasing. Our professor judging in Telangana University, they carry out these experiments. Like carrying out the temperature, they simulate conditions of 2 degrees rise and increase in carbon dioxide in a greenhouse and see how the yields are varying. You can see Krida also, Santosh Nagar. They carry out all these experiments. Because we are already 8 billion people, if the temperature goes on increasing like this, what will be the food security of the future generations? So that's why India already started these experiments where they simulate the experiment where suppose the maize or rice they grow. Now what is the carbon dioxide concentration presently about 420? Ideally it would have been 250 parts per million. Now it is 420. So if it goes to 550 parts per million, then how the yield will vary? If the temperature goes above 2 degrees, how the yield will vary? These experiments are being carried out. So impact of climate change on agriculture is high. Health, you see, water, there is a high intensity rainfall, and again there is a run. So as informed by Professor Girdhar, we need to find artificial recharge structures. Where he has given an example, where the weather zone shaft is given, and you can increase the groundwater level. Instead of natural calculation, it gets triggered. But it is not useful everywhere because if it contains so many impurities, so like sewage water, then we are polluting the groundwater. As long as you are using rainwater, it is good. So we need to see the catchment area. If it is meant for rainwater, we can use it. Professor Girdhar also helped us in EPTRI. When you come inside, you would have seen many rainwater harvesting structures. It's all we took his help because he has done in JTU. He helped out in EPTRI also. So this is a zero discharge campus, my friends. It is a zero discharge campus. Not a single drop of water goes out during rainy season. 2 years back, near the main gate, it used to be flooded. Now, for last 2 years, we do not see any flooding because we are making water to stop rather than run. We have built so many harvesting structures and percolation tank, all the because rains keep coming, so we have built different types of structures: check dam, earthen dam, gabbing structures, percolation tank, farm pond. So this is making we are saving about 3 crores liter of water per annum. So these are different impacts. The crop food yields slow down, water because of the changing climate, the sea level is rising, ecosystems get destroyed. So impacts we are seeing. So what is being addressed? How is the climate change being addressed? At national level, we have 8 missions. Recently, health mission also being added. So we can say 9 missions. National water mission is one of the missions which is connected with us. So in this, okay, one more slide. This may be knowing the global water is constituting about 96.5% as oceans, and saline water 0.9, and we have got only 2.5 is a fresh water. 2.5% in the fresh water. Even that is again contains you can see glaciers and ice caps, groundwater, surface water again 1.2%. So this 2.5 is again is not available as a drinking water. You have got only 0.8% as a for drinking water. So you can imagine, though the globe is having 2/3 water, but drinking water is only available in 0.8%. I'm not going to the exam volumes and other things. We can discuss the shortage of time. And India, if you see, the total precipitation is 4,000 BCM, and total availability is 1869 BCM, and utilizable is about 1123. I will share the presentation. You can have this, and there is a reducing per capita availability. When you got independence, it was 5,177 cubic meter per year per person. The per capita availability. Now it is going down to 1140. Below 1,000, it will be scarcity. So this is average actually. There are some areas may be overexploited where already 1,000 below 1,000 might be there. So national water mission, these are 5 goals. Database in the public domain, promotion of citizen state actions for water conservation, augmented preservation, focus attention in vulnerable areas, and save 20% of the water. 20% of the water to be efficiency, user efficiency, because hardly any recycling is happening in India. Somebody is saying Israel is having 83% recycling, but hardly anything is happening. So government of India wants like to save at least recycling 20% of the water. Water efficiency should be at least 20%. And promotion of basin level integrated water resource management. These are the 5 goals. So these are how the action plan looks like. There are 3 outcomes. One is status report, other one is interim report, the third one is final report.
The EPTR is preparing the action plan for 3 states: Telangana, Nagaland, and Mizoram. Nagaland and Mizoram we have completed, but Telangana, the data is, we require data to complete it. So these are the major chapter. Just like a finance budget, we have expenditure, we have income. Similarly, government of India looking at the water budget. What is the resources? What is the resources? Surface water, groundwater, how much we want, and how the resources are being utilized for demand and consumption, like forest and wildlife, how much? Farm sector, agriculture, horticulture, livestock, fisheries, how much? And industries, different type of industries, how many they are consuming. Establishment like schools and colleges, universities, how much? And drinking water domestic use. You know that 80%, 85% water goes to the agriculture, where the India is rich in water in the sense you get 870 mm of water, 870 mm. That means almost 1 meter. You take the area of India and if you measure, it has water of almost 1 meter. Okay. You are rich in water, but water, whenever there is a water, it is going to the sea and we are not consuming. Like Sashana told in the morning. We are not consuming, we are not saving the water. In Telangana also we get 950 mm. 950 mm is almost 1 meter. Above the ground, if you measure, if the water depth is 1 meter, that much water we are getting, 950 mm water. Where it's going? And if you see northeast, they get 3000 mm of water per annum, 3 times. Rajasthan get 300 mm. Whereas northeast countries, Nagaland, Mizoram, they get 3000, 2500 mm water. There also it is rain-fed, you know. The water, rainfall comes, it goes to the Brahmaputra river, goes to China and somewhere else. There also water is not being stored because of their terrain. So these are the problems. This is the water budget looks like this. Like source wise, we have got rainfall, we got glaciers. Of course, we don't have Telangana, but Himalayan states they have glaciers and some springs. In Manuguru, we have some hot springs. In Telangana, river basins we have irrigation, water bodies, wetlands, coastal region. So these are the broadly. These all comes as source. Even the wastewater is a source. The water which we use, 80% goes to the wastewater, anyway, that is a source. That can be used, recycled, and can be used for agriculture and some other purpose. So broadly, the status report, the what specific action plan, the chapters are being divided into 10 chapters. But mainly, this is the heart of those report. What is the source wise? What is the demand wise? So we have prepared a report of about 1,000 pages almost, and we have been touch with the irrigation department. We need to get the data with regard to the water availability in both basins, but in the Telangana only. In Godavari basin, how much? In Telangana basin, sorry, in the Krishna basin, how much? What is the surface availability? What is the availability in stored dams? Okay, storage in major and medium minor dams, and interbasin transfers upstreams. So these data, once we get this, so probably most of the data is in place. But this was done in 2020. We have submitted the report. No complaints, but probably we need to update it. We are in 2024. Similar data which we get from Nagaland and Mizoram, we have submitted the report to them. It was accepted by the National Water Commission, National Water Mission, and we are going to the second stage. Maybe somebody from Jal Sauda, we will be in touch with them so that we can get the data and we can post this report. This is the Telangana water budget. Yeah, we are from.
Yes. We have Egon Springs.
What?
We have Egon Springs.
Springs.
Regarding the data what you were asking, my colleague Saujanya is also from Egon Springs. So maybe to our heads to consider also.
Yeah. Sneha.
Sneha ma'am, now is not Sneha ma'am. Now it is under the EMC admin.
Okay. Manju ma'am is there? Someone.
Yes. Kumar sir now is both EMC admin and general.
So we can write it down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. He sir Ramacharya sir. He ma'am Sureka.
I think we have created a group. Kindly post those official members there, and something like address. We definitely write. We have been writing to them. Maybe some constraint related data. If it can be shared, and again, what is happening? The mission Bhagirath and other data, it has become almost 3 or 4 years old now. We need to update it.
Regarding the permissions, official things, I don't know, sir. But this is a protocol where things may work.
We have been writing. I'm not
Sir, BG Madam Rahul sir will I be under cabinet.
Okay. I'm not complaining. You have been writing the NC and the special C, yes.
Yes.
I know the constraints in the previous setup. Maybe if you can address these gaps. So always, when we represent the Telangana, government of India, why it is happening. We can do other states, but some happening. So kindly mostly those.
I'm only saying that there's a steered and swing in the department, in-house swing is there, where the things are in proper plan.
Right. Yeah. So I also request Mission Bhagirath officials and Public Health Department, DAUD, and also HMMS. We need to update the data. We will write to you so that what is happening here. Within ORR, where from what is coming out after HMW is supplying, I think after ORR also. So we need to have
In ORR,
within ORR.
other than
Mission Bhagirath. Okay. Those particulars again we need so that we can update it. We have
which data you want? Which type of data? Which type of data you want?
consumption, distribution. Is it as per government applicant standards 150 liters LPM or something?
We have media medium and something.
Where from what is coming?
So they were in.
See, this main exercise is because all the states are preparing this report. So there will be a cross learning. Like industries are there, steel industry is there, and suppose one other state they are using less water, producing 1 ton of steel, and other industry they are using more. Then they can do a cross learning. They can learn from each other. From education also, they consume 85% of water. But if we have people say that if 85% moisture is there in the rice field, even that will give you the same yield. We need not flood the field. So there is something can be learned. So I had to rush this presentation. Morning I had half an hour time, but now because it's getting late, and I'm unable to see Sita Mahalakshmi face also because she has to go. Okay, kindly, sorry for the delay. Please carry on. Thank you all. Thank you. Last panel panel discussion. 10 minutes panel discussion. That Sita Mahalakshmi, consultant from ASCII, will throw light on code of policy. So the panel members will be Vijay Kumar sir and Professor Gayle, Sita Mahalakshmi from ASCII, and head of the department Shashwati. So I request Sita Mahalakshmi to present from code of policy. So after that,
Ask for an update. You need people working here. Anything?
Yeah.
Because they leave or rush out.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess it's a refresher. So I'm not going to talk about water. I'm not going to talk about irrigation or savings or harvesting. But I'm here to help you guys with the coming summer month and also give some information on what are the insights or what strategies and mitigation plans Government of Telangana is taking care of or planned as such. So, I'm Sita Mahalakshmi. I'm basically
an architect. I've done my specialization in sustainable architecture. Currently working on renewable energy in my PhD. I have more than a decade and plus years of experience in the field. And I am representing Administrative Staff College of India today in terms of our contribution to the Telangana Cool Roof Policy and also the insights into what exactly is the policy and all. But even before going to Cool Roof Policy, if everybody is with me or ready to move out like me as well. Everybody is here, right? Okay. So this is little off the topic of today's, but just give me 5 minutes. I'll give you a brief so that you can help yourself and also your friends and neighbors if they don't have an idea of what exactly is Cool Roof. Okay. So yeah, India's population 1.4 billion, and then highly getting urbanized. And anybody has idea of how much of urban population this Telangana has? How much percentage of urban population? 47% of urban population. 47% of urban population. And why is it important, or is it really important to understand what is the scale of urbanization? Somebody, some speaker in the morning was mentioning, and sir was also mentioning, industrialization is happening and urbanization is happening, and that we take it as a scale of development. But with pros comes cons as well. What are the cons of urbanization? Huh?
Scarcity of plains water.
Scarcity of plains water. And anything else? We are talking from morning like climate change. Rural areas, do you feel this climate change much? Urban areas, pretty evident, right? Yeah, I'm coming there. I just directly don't want to throw the ball to the people. So what climate change effects do you observe in urban areas?
Increasing heat.
Huh?
Increasing temperature.
Increase in temperature. Anything else?
Quality of air.
Quality of air.
It is totally dense in some areas. People cannot find to stay properly. That is there because from rural areas everybody is coming, right? They are settling totally and they are stuck. Like it is nothing but if you go to any place. Suppose, for example, I have been staying past almost 10 to 15 years in KPHP area. So it's totally dense. You can't even find a place to walk properly.
And it's really difficult to imagine traveling at this point of time.
Yes. At least now, when I was I wanted to start at 8:30 to this institution, but it is difficult to move. Today is Friday, so little bit traffic is not there. So what kind of urbanization we are finding? I'm very sorry to interrupt this. From morning session they are going on hearing, but the pollution levels are so high here in this area, especially. So what kind of thing we are going to give for the future generation? We don't have the proper way to walk. What are the
all these are
solutions?
like all these are the impacts, or let's say the struggles that we face with the urbanization. But nevertheless, we can't stop urbanization because we take it as a part of development. So, as somebody rightly said, heat and there is high density of population, traffic, scarcity. So now what I am addressing today is, okay, so one report says it is of heat and humidity is high. Why do you think the temperatures are higher? Why do you think humidity is higher? Because of pollution? Pollution traps the heat inside? Yep.
It's because of percentage of concrete that we have in the cities. Percentage of concrete, not percentage of leaf.
Yes.
So, in simpler terms, if you have higher ppm matter in the air, it traps the heat. That's what is global warming, right? Becoming hot and hot. I remember Hyderabad irrespective of whatever season it is, in the evening we used to put sweaters and shawls.
Yes.
Irrespective of the season throughout the year. But these days it's like, okay, temperatures are high. And the report says in 50 years, the last year, and Hyderabad will have a very hot and harsh climate. And these are other reports wherein people are dead because of the heat waves. So now, today I am trying to address heat, in terms of heat. Yeah. So what can we do with that? These are the deaths which are reported. Please note, reported. And there might be multifold, fivefold, sixfold unreported deaths, which is around 17,500 deaths because of heat waves. Can we do anything about this? What do we do if we feel hot? Switch on the AC? These days we are switching on the AC. Older days, what do we used to do? Sit under the tree or open the windows immediately or change the clothing. We used to clothe as per the season, right?
I remember when I shared in the place, we used to put some type of they would wear
What we mat.
mat
And then
water. So I remember.
We want easier, faster solutions. Okay, so if heat waves are increasing, individually if you want, we can switch on the ACs. What happens in a building? Summers, how is your current bills? It takes up one part because of the bills, right? Because of the high bills. What can we do? What can we do?
If individual houses are there, then go for solar.
Okay. So individual houses,
Roof, white
roof, solar. Right. So the basic comfort temperature that a human can survive, along with 80% RH, which is relative humidity, is around 34 degrees. With 80% RH. If it is 100% RH, even 34 even comes down to 32. Right? And we can run our ACs as per ISHRAE standards, Indian Society of Heating, Refrigeration and Air Conditioning. We have to run our ACs at 24.5 degrees centigrade. How many of you put ACs at 24.5? No, 20, 22, 18, 16 also. Huh? Very high. So nowadays, whatever ACs which are coming, they are coming with 24.5 as the base, right? So if you look at how extreme humid and heat we have, the higher the moisture content in the air, the more comfortable discomfort we feel. That is why if you go to the coastal areas, we feel that sort of chip up, right? That's because of high humidity, and the sweat doesn't evaporate from your skin, and so we feel that uncomfortable. So if there is higher humidity, lesser temperatures also causes higher discomfort. But what is it that we can possibly do with these? Because of these higher humidities, temperatures are getting higher and cities are becoming inhabitable. That is why these days there is a trend, people go to resorts. We can go to a farmland, we can go to a resort nearby or the water body nearby. Yes? Why are we doing that? Why are we leaving our homes? Homes are supposed to be the places where we enjoy, right? And we are skipping homes during weekends and we are waiting for the weekend to get out of the home and go to some resort. That is because the temperatures are higher. And there is a term called urban heat island that defines all these scenarios. Increase of heat, and then increase of temperatures. Because of that heat, there is higher input of energy that we are using because of ACs and all. So that is what is urban heat island. How many of you heard urban heat island? Then you'll remember me today. Urban heat island. So this is a phenomena where if you look at this is the rural areas, suburban residentials, commercial cities, urban residentials. So if you look at the temperature graph, so rural areas you have lesser temperatures in that area. Urban areas you have higher temperatures. Why do you think that is? So urban heat island is a phenomena where in rural areas it absorbs the temperature and it reflects back and dissipates, and so the temperatures are lower. In urban areas, because of the concreting of the spaces, because of the paved surfaces, it absorbs much more amounts of heat. It dissipates also much more amount of heat. So the heat gets trapped. Because of the impurities that we have in the air, the heat gets trapped in the atmosphere itself. And so there will be higher temperatures in urban areas. And this phenomena is called urban heat island. When the space gets much more higher temperatures compared to the rural areas or compared to the areas nearby, so that's called urban heat island. So how are we addressing that? So this is what is the issue that is being dealt with in the cool roof policy. So that's a mitigation strategy that the government of Telangana has come up with. So what happens in urban heat island phenomena? There is the heat of vaporization that happens, the heat from the road surface, heat from the vehicles, and from the buildings as well, the heat that is from our compressors as well, air conditioners. All these get trapped in the atmosphere. So that builds up the heat in the cloud that is around our buildings. And why does it occur? Because if you look at these spaces don't absorb much heat. So the dissipation or emission is also less. In these spaces, they absorb a lot of heat because of their thermal capacities, thermal transmission capacities and absorption capacities. Concrete jungles or paved surfaces absorbs a lot of heat. And in turn, because the vegetation is also less, the transpiration or evapotranspiration of plants is also less, with less humidity or lesser temperatures in the urban areas. So this is again. So what happens is, coming back to now, I can connect it with water, because when there is urban heat island effect happening in a particular urban area, that pushes the cloud to the windward direction of the city. So the rainfall that is supposed to happen in the city happens off the city. Because of that effect, the clouds are pushed off. So the no rainfall, water usage, no recharge, reduction of water table underground. Now I can connect this with water now. And if you look at India, because the construction industry is growing and we are done with only 45% of the built-up space that we need for the Indian population for the next 15 years. 55% of construction is yet to be done. 45% is only constructed. 55% is yet to be done, which means there are more number of buildings that are going to come. That results in more amount or percentage of urban talent. So the better way that we wanted to look at was to address where there is huge chunk of constructions that is happening, and then try to do mitigation strategies to reduce that urban heat island. These are like, yeah. So if there is a 2-degree rise in the temperature in that urban area, 1 degree is definitely by urban heat island, because of urban heat island. India. So these are the statistics. 200 million people will be exposed to the heat waves. People will lose their jobs. That increases the cooling requirement. If the cooling requirement increases, we put in more ACs, more hydrofluorocarbons into the air, more GHG emissions. Yeah. Because of this urban heat island, we have issues like heat-related issues like heat strokes, reduced air quality, environmental impacts, economical implications, increased energy consumptions because it's heating up and we are using more energy. So how do we address it? By cool roofs. What is a cool roof? So the problem here is we are absorbing heat in urban areas. Urban areas, heat absorption is more, so dissipation is more. If we cut down the absorption, the dissipation will also be less, which means we are reducing, right? So in tropical climate like our region, higher heat absorption happens in the roof because we go with flat roofs, not the sloped down hipped roofs, flat roofs. So if we go with high albedo cool roofs, albedo is nothing but the percentage of reflectance or emissivity. Okay, if we go with higher reflecting panes or membranes or lesser absorbing strategies on the roof. Lesser absorbing is if we put up plants, also plants absorb lesser heat. So if we go on like cool coatings, cool shingles, China mosaics, cool membranes as well, cool tiles, all these are acting as a over deck membranes, cutting down the ingress of the heat into your building. So if the heat is not coming inside your building, you don't have to put in more energy on your AC, right? What are the benefits? You have improved thermal comfort, you will save air conditioning energy, you will reduce urban heat island, again, resulting in delayed global warming, offset CO2s, reduce mortalities due to heat waves. Some ways to mitigate this: increase your urban greenery, go with cool roofs, go with green pavements. So it's basically when people, okay, so in the process of that, we have done few case studies. One is Kompally, there is one housing complex. We have done two types of studies, long-term and short-term studies. What we have done is we have put up the panes on the roofs, and then we tried checking the temperatures. See, this is the infrared gun, and then the temperature recorded is 65.5 degrees centigrade. Without cool roof, without that paint, and with the paint, it is 44.8 degrees centigrade, which means there is a drastic 20 degrees difference in it. And all the sensors for recording these data, because we have done the pilot studies. So there is a clear visible difference of 2 to 3 degrees centigrade change in the temperature. And trust me, 2 to 3 degrees centigrade drop in temperature is really huge. And again, another case study as well. Now we have used another cool coating, which is a hydroshield dam. And again, if you look at the changes in the indoor air temperatures and also overdeck roof surface, overdeck is nothing but above the roof. Overdeck roof surface temperatures, there is a drastic difference. 12.6 degrees centigrade and 4.5 is the average. Again, we have used another sort of strategy using roof tiles, cool roof tiles. Again, there is a huge difference in the temperatures with and without. This is bamboo roof again. So there is no particular, at least the policy doesn't mention as in what material you have to use. The only thing is you make sure that you're not letting the heat cross the roof and get into your building. You can go with any strategy, but there are few checkpoints as in how do you do it. This is another case study. We've painted and we have put some sensors, that is overdeck sensor, underdeck sensors, and then we try to check the temperatures without false ceiling, with false ceiling. And again, there is a difference. So because there are a lot of deaths that are being reported, there is an action plan that has come up, which is heat wave action plan. And when heat wave action plan has come up, we also understood that there is a need for a proper mandate for reducing the urban heat islands, and that is when we have come up with, Telangana government has come up with Telangana Cool Roof Policy. It is a 5-year policy, and the objectives are for rapid adoption, for trying to look out for financing frameworks, creating robust institutional framework, support to workforce development for training process to install these cool roofs or maintaining these cool roofs. And yeah, for what buildings does this cool roof apply? It is a mandate, by the way. Cool roof policy is a mandate, and for government, non-residential and commercial buildings, for residential buildings which have a plot area of more than 600 square yards, and government assisted housing schemes like buildings built by the government, maybe town and country planning or CPWD. So these definitely come under cool roof policy. It is a mandate, it has been checked, and it has been there in online permission management system as well, DPMS system as well. And optional, in residential buildings, it is mandate for plot areas which are more than 600 square yards, but that doesn't mean that the residences less than these areas shouldn't do. I mean, it's optional, it's not mandate. And we have good checkpoints for these because it is an online DPMS system, and a set of ECBC third-party assessors will check whether the building is complying with the cool roof policy or not, whether it is painted or not, and the necessary documentation that is needed for it. And the targets that has been set for on behalf of Telangana cool roof policy is by the end year an aggregate of 300 square kilometers of the rooftop should be cool roof. And if you look at the one-time carbon offset of 30 million tons in 5 years can be addressed. 30 million tons of stuff. These are the materials, cool roof materials, and that's me. If you have any doubts, you can contact me. Any doubts? You've heard the urban heat island term for the first time, no?
Actually, it is for individual homes or flats. How can it is going to help for full say suppose 11 store building 11 floors are there. What will be the use? Like for toppermost flats only the roof it should be.
Okay, so there is a catch. Okay, if it's a single story building and the roof is immediately on the ground floor, so there will be a clear evident saving of 15 to 20% in terms of your energy savings. But if it is a multi-story building, in a multi-story building, the surface area of the roof is lesser compared to the surface area of the walls. So we are also coming up with another study and a strategy that addresses these as well. The vertical surfaces. The roof is a horizontal component, right? These vertical surfaces, we are also working on that.
Nowadays, green buildings like that, the constructions are going on, right?
Yes.
See, green buildings means totally the sunlight and everything should be very clearly, but should enter into the rooms wherever office staff work is there, that kind of things. But suppose in residential building, suppose let us take the example, where all multi-story buildings are there, right? Especially office premises and talking. So how it is going to help? Everything is totally centralized. ACs are there. How it is going to?
So you have to understand it is a cool roof policy, which means it talks about the roof treatments.
Only roof,
not the wall surfaces.
No, I am not talking about the wall surfaces. Suppose if it is 1 plus 2, G plus 2, so okay, it can be worked. But if it is more than number of floors are more, then how it is going to work out? Even though it is a roof concept, how it is going to act? Only suppose in a ground floor, some 4 flats are there. In 5th floor, only for 5th floor it is going to work, right?
Absolutely.
Suppose how we need to work in another way also. We need to think how it is.
See, your 5th floor is only exposed to the sun. No? Your 4th floor roof is not exposed to the sun.
Heat cannot be. Heat will be there for ground floor also. Heat will be there for 2nd floor also, right?
But your heat ingress is lesser. No? Your heat ingress on the top surface is through direct solar radiation, and so it is high.
From morning 7 a.m., the angle of sunlight will fall more on the walls than on the roof.
Yes.
So you should also have a cool wall policy, not only cool roof.
Yeah, so that's
I
what
want
I
to
said.
just here, go back to your presentation with one slide where, back. Rural areas, urban areas comparison. Rural and urban. Rural, urban, you have, yeah. Rural trees are there. Rural.
One second. Let it
Trees
go.
are there, rural.
Yes, and we-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. See, the differential here, urban heat island effect is because there are no trees, no plants on the right side. Here on the left side you have plants. The problem with the cold roof is, how is paint made? What is the life cycle analysis? What is the carbon emission of paint manufacture? Minerals. Then petroleum products.
maybe,
Carbon emissions. So the life cycle analysis of manufacturing a paint creates more emissions. And already a lot of heat could have been generated because of that emissions. Poor plants have them on the roof. They don't create
Absolutely, sir. I mean,
emissions.
cool room policy also.
And
as
they
in-
get some returns. Have some fruit plants, tomato plants on the roof. Not everything, paint will not give you anything in return. Only on the wall or roof.
They can choose whatever they want. The only thing is, irrespective of whatever technology you are using, your heat ingress should be
no trees
less.
in urban areas. Get trees there. Go. Why are we getting paint there?
Choice. They can
No,
do
no
it
choice.
anything.
Paint has a life cycle of CO2 emissions.
no, it is like, see, in my concept, now the concept is reducing the heat, right? How many ACs we are using when multi-story buildings are there? I'm working in that angle. How many ACs we are using? See, in my only we are
That
so
is why it is
that-
called as a roof
so
policy.
what kind of things we can use to reduce? So in that way, maybe we need to.
Yes, I understand that. That is where ECVC comes from. ECVC is Energy Conservation Billing Code. This Energy Conservation Billing Code addresses all the components of a building. So this cool room policy addresses the roof component of a building. I hope I'm clear. If there are any doubts, I'm happy to help you guys. And yeah, I also gave my mail ID. Thank you for the time.
Sir, first thing I want to raise is the policies which like maybe we should say or not in this platform, but every time this is my I think second or third time I'm coming to EPTRA. So always I will say one thing: the policies, the government which is making should be very clear. The problem is they won't make proper policies. Whether they are seeing in a long-term way, I don't understand. Whether seeing there in short-term way. If policies are correctly implemented, maybe we can come over all these problems. These are very simple.
అంతే మా సోషల్ మీడియా పెట్టినాం
ఏ మీడియా సార్ ఆ సోషల్ మీడియా ఒకటి చెప్తుంది. ఇప్పుడు ఇది అక్కడ మాట్లాడితే వాళ్ళొక్కటి రాకపోతుంది. గవర్నమెంట్ ఎంప్లాయీ కదా, ఏమైనా మాట్లాడాలంటే 2 సార్లు ఆలోచించాల్సి వస్తుంది. అదే ఒక కామన్ సిటిజన్ అయితే ఏం మాట్లాడతారో ఇది కరెక్ట్ అన్నమాట. అది మా గవర్నమెంట్ వాళ్ళకి పనికిరాదు సార్. కానీ చాలా కాంప్రమైజ్ మీద మాట్లాడాల్సి వస్తుంది. నిజంగా చెప్తున్నాను. అర్బనైజేషన్ అంటున్నారు. మీరు ఒక ఎస్టీపీని ఎక్కడ పెట్టారు సార్? ఒక ఎస్టీపీని ఇండియాలో మధ్యలో పెట్టా ఎస్టీపీ పంపు మొత్తం వస్తుంది. దానివల్ల ఎన్టీపీలు వస్తాయి. రైట్? ఎందుకు? ఇప్పుడు ఒక మల్టీ స్టోరీ బిల్డింగ్ పెట్టిండ్రు మీరు. పెట్టినప్పుడు మీరు రీసైక్లింగ్ జనరేట్ వాటర్ రీసైక్లింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ ఒక రూఫ్ వాటర్ ప్లాంట్ అనేది ఎప్పటి నుంచో ఉన్నది. నేను ఎంటెక్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ ఫ్రమ్ జేఎన్టీయూ అప్పటి నుంచి చదువుతున్నా. 2004 నుంచి ఇంజనీరింగ్ లో ఉన్నప్పటి నుంచి కూడా చదువుతున్నా. బట్ ఎవరు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తలేదు. నా బాధ ఒకటే, ఇండియా స్కిల్ డెవలపింగ్. నేను చిన్నగా ఉన్నప్పటి నుంచి, మీరు చిన్నగా ఉన్నప్పటి నుంచి, నా పిల్లలు కూడా చదువుతున్నారు. వాళ్ళు కూడా స్కిల్ డెవలపింగ్. ఏంటి నెక్స్ట్ జనరేషన్ పరిస్థితి ఏంటి? చాలా మంది ఇండియన్స్ దే ఆర్ లివింగ్ అవే ఫ్రమ్ ఇండియా బికాస్ ఈ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఫేస్ చేస్తున్నాం మనం. ఇంకెప్పుడు నాకు అనిపిస్తుంది ఈ 4 కోడల మధ్యలో మాట్లాడుకొని మనం ఏదో చర్చించుకొని మనం చేస్తున్నాం అనిపిస్తుంది. ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ నాకు ఎక్కడ కనిపించదు సార్. సీరియస్లీ వర్కింగ్ ఒక 15 సంవత్సరాలు అవుతుంది ఈ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ వచ్చి ఎవరితో బాగా చెప్పాలో అర్థం కాదు, ఏం చెప్పాలో అర్థం కాదు. ఏదైనా చేద్దాము అని అంటే దానికి 1,000,000 ఉంటాయి. ఇక మీకు తెలియదేముంది సార్, మీకు చెప్పాలి యాజ్ పర్ జియో అంటారు ఇదంటారు, బట్ ఏంటి చేసే పరిస్థితి. లాస్ట్ టైం నేను వచ్చినప్పుడు కలెక్టర్ ఐఏఎస్ ఆఫీసర్ ఉంటే సార్, అక్కడ కూడా నేను రేజ్ చేసిన రిగార్డింగ్ ఫార్మర్స్, బికాస్ we deal with farmers directly. We don't know how to express. ఎందుకంటే basic patterns ఒకటి అర్థం వస్తుంది. We should hear our hierarchy. We should follow the hierarchies కదా. ఏం చెప్పాలి, ఎక్కడ దాచిపెట్టాలి కోపం అని అనిపిస్తుంది. బట్ ఒక్కసారి ఇది ఎంత ఎందుకు, ఎందుకంటే చుట్టూతో ఉంటాం మాకు. ఏదైనా మాట్లాడినాకో ఏదైనా చెప్పినామంటే అక్కడ నుంచి మాకు కోపం పర్సనల్ టార్గెట్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతాయి.
అమ్మా చేయాలంటే మనం ఒకసారి అది పోలింగ్ బూత్ లో కొట్టేసేది మనకు అది కూడా లేదు. రాయేస్తుంది ఇంకా కనీసం మన కోపం.
So just to remind the theme being water for peace, I think we can sort it out peacefully.
Because we work in water itself. We work in water itself. We deal with water itself every day. Every day.
Which department?
Irrigation department. Because irrigation department is the department we give water for the public. A department lekapothe need water. We don't give water. We cannot give water to it. We need to maintain the NDDL. It's a minimum drawdown level in the reservoirs, so that water can be drawn and pumped to every city, everything.
ఇప్పుడు మీరు అనేది మా పాలసీ ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ చేయాలంటారా?
Yes, sir. Very clearly it is not there properly.
Implementation part is
Missing. We are missing. In town planning, in irrigation department or anywhere.
ఇంకా సార్లు కూడా ఇప్పిటేనే ఇవ్వాలి.
Yeah, that is what all departments. All departments I'm saying. All departments, not a single department.
But at last, finally, irrigation also.
Irrigation, not see globalization. I don't talk about much about anything. Only the thing Hyderabad గురించి మాట్లాడతాం సార్. నేను బేసికల్లీ ఫ్రమ్ హైదరాబాద్. నేను పుట్టింది పెరిగింది చదువుకుంది హైదరాబాద్. చలి ఎలా ఉండేది? కొంచెం ఏరియాస్ లా మొత్తం అంగూరు ఉంటుండే మాకు చుట్టూతా. ఒక్క అంగూర్ ఫార్మ్స్ అని ఉన్నాయంట, ఏం లేవు. లేక్స్ నేను ఎంటెక్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత జేఎన్టీయూ నుంచి ఎంటెక్ కంప్లీట్ చేసిన తర్వాత 2004-5 లో I joined with Pura as a training engineer. I worked in Lake Division. 3,000 చెరువులు ఉంటుండే అప్పటికి. ఇప్పుడు నాకు 200 చెరువులు కూడా కనిపిస్తుంది ఇక్కడ. మొత్తం కబ్జా, ఎంక్రోచ్మెంట్. ఎందుకు జరుగుతుంది సార్ ఎంక్రోచ్మెంట్? ఎందుకు ఇస్తున్నారు? అయితే ఇక్కడ చూడండి, పెద్ద జనాలు వచ్చి అక్కడ వాళ్ళు ఫ్లాట్స్ కట్టొచ్చు, వెంచర్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. పాపం చిన్న వచ్చి గుర్తలు అయితే వాళ్ళని కొడతారు. ఏంటి సార్ ఇది? ఎక్కడ మాట్లాడాలి సార్ ఇది? మరి ఇక్కడే మాట్లాడడం యూజ్ ఏంటి వాట్ ఈస్ ది యూజ్? సార్ ఏం యూజ్ అనిపిస్తుంది? ఒక మనిషికి సహాయం చేయని పరిస్థితికి వచ్చినాం కదా. డిపార్ట్మెంట్ లో పనిచేస్తూ కూడా వి నాట్ ఈవెన్ వర్క్. ఎవరికైనా హెల్ప్ చేయడానికి పరిస్థితి వచ్చినాం. సస్పెండ్ అయ్యే సిచ్యుయేషన్ కి వెళ్ళిపోయినా కొన్నిసార్లు ఇట్లా అరే కూడా చేసుకోరా బయట అవసరం లేదు.
Yes, absolutely right what you said there but regarding the policies implementation in our country, not only in Telangana, state of Telangana, but as an individual,
ఒక సిటిజన్, ఒక నెక్స్ట్ యాజ్ అ మదర్ కూడా నేను ఆలోచిస్తాను నా పిల్లలకి నేను ఏమి ఇస్తాను.
yes,
నాకు అక్కడ ఎక్కువ బాధ వస్తుంటుంది. కుక్కట్పల్లి ఏరియాలో నేను జేఎన్టీలో 2004 లో కంప్లీట్ చేసుకున్నా. బస్ ఎక్కి వస్తే కొంచెం లక్ష గ్రీనరీ కనిపించేది. ఇప్పుడు అది లేదు. కనీసం పిల్లలు నడవడానికి కూడా లేదు. అంటే ఏంటి, ఏం అర్బనైజేషన్, ఏం ఫ్యూచర్ థింకింగ్, డిస్ట్రక్షన్.
There is a saying that we are not leading our lives, we have snatched the lives of the future generation. We are leading them. We snatched, not even
మా వరకు వచ్చేసరికి కొంచెం పోయింది, మన పిల్లల వరకు వచ్చేసరికి మొత్తం పోయింది.
but as these policies are there as you have agreed, But at the bottom line, as an individual, can we do something? Yes, I understand agony when you want to implement at a district level, at a reservoir level. But as an individual, can we do something? That we have to identify. Like you can go for a rooftop on your own, for an apartment, convince the members and president to go for a rainwater. If one minute, if your apartment people are not completely accepting your and we work with NGOs, try with the NGOs, there are good NGOs also there. I know I can understand that. But again, good NGOs are there. At least if not happening all this, go to the schools and explain it. What is the reality? Yes, we do agree because it is a policy level decisions. It is a very difficult as an individual to intervene because the big bosses, bureaucrats are there. And even the court is saying, but if policy decisions are not done. As I told in 2001, High Court has given Water Act and they said it is a mandatory to have a rainwater harvesting in all the houses. Again, question mark. As we are discussing, how many of us are in the rainwater harvesting in houses? We'll identify a number of excuses. So we are staying in apartment, we are staying in another house, we are staying in nearby place, something. Some, if not you, but you might be others. So because it is at a larger level, when we are unable to do it, can we do it in individual level? This question, at least start with our individual level. Can we do? Can we create awareness to the school children? Identify schools saying that there are a number of corporate schools are nowadays there. They are ready to spend some money on rainwater harvesting. Morning I attended again a state water meeting. They identified some industries that require extreme auditing of the water. Geofast is the company. They honored the company. They have gone for a water meter. They have gone for zero taking of groundwater. Only water coming from the roof. They are storing and water reusing, recycling, and they are using. And further they are putting a meter. So maybe we need to develop at an individual level. Yes. We also need to focus at a larger level. When we are unable to do it, we are not at that level where our voice is not reaching that. But we can do it at individual. That's my personal. In a university, university also saying registrar will be there, VC will be there. When I submitted my proposal saying that I need 40 lakhs to go for a rainwater harvesting system, sir told VC registrar, sir told our budget maintenance budget itself is a 40 lakhs. How can we give 40 lakhs budget? So we approached to the government. Government has released money and we were able to construct it. And last 2011 we completed it. It's till today it is zero maintenance, it's working. Now I'm satisfied. So you can also identify some people, some farmers will be there, say that it is instead of going for a paddy, go for a commercial cultivation. If it is not, if it is in your command area, okay, they will go for paddy. Other than the command area, explain them. Believe me, there are farmers who are not aware that even micro irrigation subsidies are given by the government. So we need to reach that level. And if you educate your native people, your village level people, and create awareness, this is the drip irrigation system, advancement is available. Morning Sarah also mentioned free paddy cultivation. So they can go for it. So when we do that way, that will get satisfied. Instead of we are unable to do it at department level, where we are not in a policy make decision. Even if we are in a policy make decision, other benches will be there.
Roof on the balcony.
Balcony.
Balcony tomato.
తులసి కంపల్సరీ ఉంటుంది. తీగ మొక్కలు వేసాను, మీరు మనీ కట్ చేస్తాను, టమాటో ఒకసారి వచ్చి రాలేదు. నేను వాట్ ఎవర్ నాకు ఏ రోజు ఆ రోజుకి ఏమైనా అనిపిస్తే వేసేస్తాను అనమాట. అది వచ్చేస్తుంది.
Microbes totally ఇస్తాం. టమాటో వేసుకో, ఏమైనా వేసుకో చూస్తే and the sequestrate more carbon into the soil.
నేను విలాస్లో ఉంటాను. మా రూఫ్ అంతా మేము రైన్ వాటర్ రూఫ్ గార్డెన్ 100%, ఇంక్లూడింగ్ బనానాస్, pomegranate and spawn gourd, bitter gourd, tomatoes and all other leaves.
ప్రాబ్లమ్ చెప్తాను సార్. లాస్ట్ టైం ఈపీటీఆర్ఏలో ట్రైనింగ్ వచ్చాము. వాట్ విల్ బి ఈజీ దేర్ ఎనీ జెండర్ డిస్క్రిమినేషన్ ఇన్ తెలంగాణ స్టేట్ అనేది వచ్చిందన్నమాట. అయితే మనం అటెండ్ అయ్యాము.
On paper,
the chief వాళ్ళు ఎక్కడ కాశ్మీర్ నుంచి వచ్చారు ఢిల్లీ కాశ్మీర్ 3 days ట్రైనింగ్. అప్పుడు ఐ వాస్ ఎడవల్ అసిస్టెంట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ ఇంజనీర్. నేను చాలా ఫుల్ ఫ్లెడ్జ్డ్ గా ఏదైనా చెప్పడం ఎప్పుడు అలవాటుకి ఇలానే ఉంటుంటే బాగుంటుంది. సో నేను అనుకున్నది నో డిస్క్రిమినేషన్ ఇన్ అవర్ తెలంగాణ స్టేట్ అని. ఎప్పుడైతే ప్రమోషన్ వచ్చిందో డెప్యూటీ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ ఇంజనీర్ లాగా ఓటింగ్ సబ్ డివిజన్ డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ ఆఫీసర్ రైట్. అండ్ దెన్ ఐ స్టార్టెడ్ టీచింగ్. అప్పుడు అనిపించింది ఆ ట్రైనింగ్ గురించి చెప్పింది తప్పు.
That is theory.
Yes. This is practical.
So
I selected as a treasurer in 2016, 2018 township, sir.
And I later sent these sessions in theory and try to implement in the field.
Sir, అదే ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేశాను. 16 to 18 లో వరకు నేను మలేషియన్ టౌన్షిప్ లో యాజ్ ఎ ట్రెజరర్ ఫ్రీ వాలంటరీ సర్వీస్ చేసింది. ఎలక్ట్ అయిన తర్వాత అక్కడ కూడా పాలిటిక్స్ రెసిడెన్షియల్ ఏరియా బట్ ఇట్ ఇస్
full politics.
ఫుల్ పాలిటిక్స్. బట్ అక్కడ కూడా
politics ఉంటే మీరు మనసులో
కంపోస్ట్ 1000 kgs ఆఫ్ కంపోస్ట్ వెట్ వేస్ట్ కిచెన్ వేస్ట్ నుంచి వచ్చిన దాన్ని నేను 1000 kgs చేసి చూపించాను. కానీ అది ఎవరు నెక్స్ట్ వచ్చిన ప్యానల్ వాళ్ళు చేయలేదు. నాకు అదే అనిపిస్తుంది.
సారీ వేస్ట్ ని అమ్మేస్తారు.
అమ్మడం కూడా కాదు సార్, అది డైరెక్ట్ డంపింగ్ కదా. నాకు అక్కడ అనిపిస్తుంది
So coming back to your points, what you mentioned, the integrated curriculum in schools, the change has to start from the home. It's more like walk the talk. So, walk the talk. I mean, you mean it, you do it before you tell somebody else. You put it into practice and then you teach somebody.
Yes.
So there was, I was doing my thesis masters and I was going around for the survey. And the one fact that I observed, maybe you might have also observed, if things were told to kids in the school, they come and hold sticks on parents. So it's not a problem with the kids. It's the other way around. So if something was told to a kid in the school and they will not listen to the parent at home, if they were told, okay, you are supposed to do the addition this way, Makasaki, when they are speaking to their parents, if their father or mother or sibling says this, no, you did, my teacher told this and I will do this. So it's more easier to educate the younger generation and make them follow the these initiatives, but it's much tougher to streamline the behavioral patterns of adults.
Kind of missions is easy.
He's also saying.
I was saying that there was a lot of discussion on policy. So CII works with the different states, and there are some good policies which are demonstrated. First of all, which is not related to policy, something more department, which is a global practice. If you look at Singapore, if you look at London, why they are so successful in terms of entire ecosystem moves around Department of Public Gardens. Department of Parks and Lakes can handle the entire wastewater, everything, because they have the biggest green area which need to be treated with water. So water is coming from everybody is using water, 80% water is waste. That water, they will collect the water because when they need more water, they will handle it. Because if agriculture is handled in Israel for 55% of agriculture with treated water, and they are making a very big economy. So that is the way that we have to learn from that. For Singapore, where the horticulture and the parks and gardens, everybody goes to Singapore to see those gardens. It is all that tourism and everything is around public gardens. So I think slowly it has to start in one of the state. It is not like it can start in an urban local body also. Many of the urban local bodies we are working with good examples of Pimpri, Chinchwad and others, where 48% is the green cover. India's green cover is 25%, including forest. If I take out forest, India is at 60 odd percentages. So the requirement here is we need to focus on urban biodiversity, which I think also discussed today. And urban biodiversity needs to define all the different departments. And automatically your wastewater, which is now 80% of water we treat and then we dump into the rivers, or we don't use it, means we are wasting our money. And out of that 80% water, while we are saying treating, we are not treating 75% of the country's water. So actually, if we treat that 75% of water, all the lakes will be already clean, because we have to understand the revenue in that water. Today we feel the water is free. Until the water is free, parking is free, and everything is free, things will not change. So here today, as the water subject, so I thought to just put this point again. So water and on this water, there is a specific tariff which is there in few states like Maharashtra, Jammu Kashmir, where if you are giving to agriculture also don't give free. If you are giving to industry, now yesterday I was in one of the municipal corporation, so industry is paid in getting their pipelines laid. Even in Vadodara, that has happened, where industry has paid to get the pipes laid to the industry to get the treated water. So we have to first create the demand. We have to, because now the question comes, if we already create, then who will take this water? Because already created STP with 250 crores, let's say. And then who is the taker? And they who don't have, will dump that all that water into the rivers. And then at one point in time, Pollution Control Board will say, what is the quality of water you are dumping? Then you test it there, and until it meets, you don't dump. And then at one side there will be good quality of water which will be taken. Then there's a very vicious circle which is going on. I think everything can be handled if it starts from public gardens. That's this.
Right. What is that? Yeah. Yes. No, for Hyderabad, that's why we had a plan. Hyderabad consumes about 2,000 ml of water compared to HMWSP. Okay. Then, as we said, 80% goes to the wastewater. Okay. About 1,600 ml goes to the wastewater. Then we thought using this water, irrigation is going on. We don't know from where next day we get the estimates to your planning table. So there are some heavy metals coming, and cancer patients are increasing in Hyderabad. Then what we thought, we thought of treating the whole water in Hyderabad. Okay. Then we submitted a proposal to the climate fund. We got national adaptation fund on certain projects. We got the implement fund. 1,600 crores that is the amount. Then the growth climate fund informed that it is a big amount in a country like India, and there should be a hybrid finance structure where the government and the private also should contribute something. Then we approached the government. Government has established mostly River Development Authority. Then 1,000 crores they have allocated to that. Then again we went for 600 crores. Total 1,600 crores. So then this is the grant now. Takes some time to get it. Finally they said they will give about 30 million USD, about 250 crores. So what we have finally we came to know that we are bringing water from Krishna and Godavari, 200 kilometers away from Hyderabad. And how much energy? Water energy excess is there. So maybe we are getting for 80 or 100 rupees per liter, we are getting it 10 rupees per liter. Maybe sometimes free also. Maybe industries they are charging more. So we thought Hyderabad groundwater levels are going down. And Usmania and Nimai some of are neglecting them. So then we thought, suppose this campus is there. This campus now we are saving about 3 crore liters thanks to the interval. He helped us in establishing these structures as a part of the project. He is saving about 10 crores liter in JNTU. And like this, one artist day we called him. We were inspired by his story, and we thought of we built here. Now we are saving about 3 crore liters. Suppose similarly, a lot of land is there, Central University. If everybody, all the universities and at home, really we use it, we recharge the groundwater, then groundwater level improves. Suppose if we have 1 or 2 bad seasons, in Krishna Godavari, where water will come to monsoon. They say that surface water is like a salary, groundwater is like a deposit in the bank. You are extracting only deposits and going down.
So, one point on this, I think we suggested to other state governments and the municipal corporations also, let's start having it on the website. Who are doing good, their name and the kind of liters they save with the JNT with different names, not only for water, even for the solar rooftop, who has done. Although since the government take a record of that, green buildings all in my state, the cities, if the cities and states will start knowing it, it's a very easy way out, then we can start incentivizing, if there's an incentive required also.
Government India is coming with green credits.
Yeah.
That they have kept one report also for public suggestions, there by month, and probably they will come out with a policy soon. Every green need, you can keep it there. how to uncache it and how to make it incentivized, probably it will come. I think in a shape. It is in, if we create it, we can.
Property tax and some things and the other incentives also can.
వాడేం చేస్తాం వీడేం చేస్తాం కాదు వాళ్ళు అడిగేది ఈపీటీఆర్ ఏం చేస్తుంది అని చెప్తున్నాం. మీరు వెబ్సైట్ క్రియేట్ చేసి మొత్తం రాష్ట్రంలో ఉన్న గ్రీన్ బిల్డింగ్స్ అని బెటర్ పెట్టినట్టు cannot take that initiative. It's a good suggestion.
I think everybody, GNT is saving so much. I will give example. Singapore, 1.5 million liters airport is saving, Changi Airport. So everybody goes, but they will put it on the website. Or even I don't know, Singapore also maintains which city or which project is saving how much. Actually, cumulatively, it will go in billions and trillions. So that may be equivalent to 7 days water requirement of that city. So that need to be captured and that need to be highlighted. India is actually lacking the data. Until we have data, I think nobody will be interested to fund us. Once this city demonstrates more data recordings.
Nobody knows.
Yes.
Nobody knows that EPD is in 3 crore liters. Exactly 3 crore liters is just water for 3 years of time. Consumers.
Sir, one more request, sir. ఇప్పుడు దాకా మేము మాట్లాడాం కదా, సోషల్ మీడియా అనేది చాలా పవర్ఫుల్ టూల్ ఉంది ప్రజెంట్. ప్రతి ఒక్క చేతిలో ఫోన్ ఉంది కదా. ఇంత డిస్కషన్ మనం సొసైటీ కోసం ఇంత తాపత్రయపడుతున్నాం. ఇప్పుడు మేడం చెప్పారు, మీరు చెప్పారు, సో ఈ పెద్దవాళ్ళందరూ సజెషన్స్ ఇచ్చారు. ఇదంతా నార్మల్ పబ్లిక్ మైండ్ లోకి వెళ్ళేంత వరకు, వాళ్ళు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేసేంత వరకు వాళ్ళు ఎన్ని మాట్లాడుతున్నా రికార్డులో ఉంటాయి. అంటే ప్రాక్టికల్, అంటే ప్రాక్టికల్ గా ఏమి వర్కౌట్ అవ్వదు, థియరీలో మాత్రమే ఉంటుంది. మేడం చెప్పినట్టుగా థియరీకి ప్రాక్టికల్ కి దేర్ ఇస్ ఎ లాట్ ఆఫ్ డిఫరెన్స్. సో మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాము, ఈపీటీఆర్ ఏం చేస్తుంది ఇక్కడ, అంటే వాటర్ కోసం కానీ క్లైమేట్ చేంజ్ కోసం కానీ ఏం చేస్తున్నాం అనేది సోషల్ మీడియాలో అది ఈజీగా యాక్సెస్ అవ్వాలి. అంటే ఇది ఏదో ఒకటి జరుగుతుంది, క్లైమేట్ చేంజ్ అవుతుంది, సో మనకి వాతావరణంలో మార్పు వస్తే ఇలా అవుతుంది అలా అవుతుంది, ఎవరు చెప్తారు? అవునా కదా. పేరెంట్స్ దే ఆర్ బిజీ విత్ లైఫ్. ఇప్పుడు మీరు చెప్పారు స్కూల్లో ఎడ్యుకేట్ చేయాలి అని, సో స్కూల్లో చెప్పాలి. యాజ్ వెల్ as సోషల్ మీడియాలో కూడా ఈపీటీఆర్ చేసే యాక్టివిటీస్ కంపల్సరీ అప్లోడ్ చేయాలండి. నేను మామూలుగా ఈపీటీఆర్ వెబ్సైట్ అంటే చూసాము. నేను సివిల్ సప్లై విజిలెన్స్ అండ్ మానిటరింగ్ కమిటీ మెంబర్ జనగాం డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ అండ్ ఇండస్ట్రియల్ ప్రమోషన్ కమిటీ మెంబర్ ఆల్సో. సో నేను వేరియస్ స్కూల్స్ కి వెళ్తూ, నేను విజిలెన్స్ వెళ్తూ ఉంటాను. సో పిల్లలకు చెప్పి ఏదైనా యాక్టివిటీస్ చూపిస్తాము అంటే దేర్ ఇస్ నో డాక్యుమెంటరీ ఎవిడెన్స్ ఏమీ లేదు కదా మన దగ్గర. ఇది ఇలా ఉంది, ఇలా చూడండి. యూట్యూబ్ లో లేదు, ఈవెన్ వెబ్సైట్ లేదు. ఇప్పుడు సార్ చెప్పినట్టుగా వెబ్సైట్ లో అప్లోడ్ చేద్దాం మన యాక్టివిటీస్ అని, యూట్యూబ్ లో అప్లోడ్ చేద్దాం, క్వాలిటీ వీడియోస్ పెడదాం, పబ్లిక్ రీచ్ అవ్వాలి. ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ది డే ఇక్కడ కూర్చున్న వాళ్ళందరూ ఉద్దేశం ఏంటి, పబ్లిక్ రీచ్ అవ్వాలి, అది ఇంప్లిమెంట్ అవ్వాలి. దీని నుండి మీకు గెట్ రిజల్ట్. ఇప్పుడు వాటర్ ఉంది, ఎవరి ఇంట్లో వాళ్ళు వాటర్ సేవ్ చేయాలి. లేదు అంటే హైకోర్టు లో కూడా ఒక ఆర్డర్ వచ్చింది, మూసీ కానీ పక్కన ఉన్న హైదరాబాద్ లో మనకి మొండ మార్కెట్ కానీ ఎక్కడ తీసుకున్న కూరగాయలు కూడా అవి సేఫ్ కాదు, చాలా హెవీ మెటల్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో అలాంటి ఆప్షన్ లేదు. సో అర్బన్ ఫార్మింగ్ కోసం మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాము, అర్బన్ ఫార్మింగ్ డెవలప్మెంట్ చేయాలి. సో వర్షం పడుతుంది, వాటర్ అంతా రోడ్ల మీదకి వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఇంకుడు గుంటలు అనేది చిన్న ఇళ్ళకైనా సరే కంపల్సరీ ఇంకుడు గుంట ఉండాలి. అడ్డ వర్షం అంటే ఎక్కడికక్కడ ఎక్కడో చోట మనకి గ్రౌండ్ లోకి వెళ్ళిపోతా ఉంటాయి. ఎందుకు సార్ రోడ్ల మీదకి వచ్చి జనాలు పట్టుకుంటారు, చాలా పట్టుకుంటున్నాయి.
Yeah, I'll just add one point. One of the good policy which is already implemented in one of the municipal corporation, which will address the root cause actually. First of all, the water comes on the roads from individual buildings with sediments. So first approach need to be the soil test done during the construction, which is related to approval process, topsoil preservation mandatory, and sedimentation control measure mandatory, so that sedimentation basin is there under need to be mandatory. If this is there in Indian, one of the municipal corporation already approved, I'm not naming it now. But Colombia and there are many other international examples also. You can start with it. It will take a lot of different measures where the water, only clear water will come on stormwater drain. Now, as it is already on the stormwater drain, nobody should dump CLT waste on the stormwater drain. So that municipal corporation has made a fine of 10,000 or 50,000. Anybody found dumping on the stormwater drain. So there is no stormwater drainage scheme. The water will flow without sediment because at root level, 2 levels we have checked it. Now it has to go to the rivers or the lakes or the nearby water bodies. The check related to that as per the URDK5 guidelines, which says what all you should not develop and what all you should not do, like the only recreation and opinion theatre and different kind of things which need to be come, and nothing can come within 15 meter or 20 meter or different norms. If these 3 things are done, I think already the water will be in the lake and there will be no lake with sediments filled with 60%, 70%.
But there is already work happening on zero discharge from a plot.
Yeah, that's the best case scenario. I'm talking about a baseline scenario. I'm not talking about everybody can do zero liquid discharge, but something the government thinks this is something which everybody should do because sediments will keep on adding. And we were talking about one of the largest office project in Hyderabad, which is India's largest office project. That also had the same issue. And we solved it by setting up this measure that all the outlets of your project should have a sedimentation basin. Otherwise, your site will be waterlogged, and then your roads and stormwater drains were already choked in that area. Waterlogging was happening.
That's why we had to build a zero discharge campuses. Because our public will not know, public will keep in our website, like JNTU. But if every office like this, where the space is there, if we have this.
Zero discharge policy.
It will be costly every project is a costly effort. It will be different.
500 square floor 20 అంతస్తులు రాకూడదు. Zero discharge యాక్టివ్ వస్తుంది. So organic solution
Rainwater. They can.
They don't waste make it zero discharge. They are people working on it to make it
They
mandatory.
have built there, but surface area remains the same, huh? 500 square feet they built there, and 10 floors. Surface area remains the same.
rain water harvesting అనేది పాలసీలో లేదు. ఏ పాలసీ అప్పుడు పాలసీ మున్సిపల్ గవర్నమెంట్ పనిచేసిన మున్సిపాలిటీలు ఏమంటామంటే నేను పనిచేసాను నాకు నేను పనిచేసింది లేదు they only recharge pit. And in Hyderabad it's a duck and trap, granite soil, no underground recharge will happen normally unless you inject it like your technology. Hyderabad కాదు.
I think sir, Hyderabad needs a stormwater management policy. This stormwater management policy can have all these addresses so that our stormwater drains, which we built with so much of money, I know the cost incurred for the stormwater drain in Hyderabad and Telangana also, all will be judiciously used in that case because we'll mandate first again the sediments will come the next day, then it's all waste because our drains will be coated with our rocks and lot of CND waste also, sediments also, then it is difficult. Then nothing can go into the lakes. There will be no water for the future also.
Yes, sir. As we are running out of time, I think we will conclude.
అందరు కట్టుకుంటుందమ్మా నీళ్ళ గురించి
Thank you so much for the panel discussion. Sir, just for 5 minutes, I would request Mr. M. Pranil, Project Associate, to present the plans happening to Jupiter, sir. Also to Sita Mahalakshmi ma'am, consultant Kanki. And also to Madhurika Chaudhary ma'am, founder, Juvansh Organization. And on behalf of APTI, I would like to propose vote of thanks to everyone present here today, to respected DC ma'am and all the speakers. Thank you everyone for your valuable time.
Let's hope do something for society.
It is